Hey everyone, this is a highlights video of 2 streams AltSwiftX and I did about the House of the Dragon Season 3 trailers. The full streams are like 5.5 hours long and available on Nebula, where we're also going to be posting Season 3 Dragon Time while the season is coming out. In this video, we speculate about what the trailers might mean for Season 3 of House of the Dragon, and we also spoil a bunch of stuff from the book and what we think is going to happen in the show, so big spoilers from here on out. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoy. I'll come back a few times to correct some of the things we say during the video. Alright, have fun.
It's me, HOTD. Hi, Glidus.
Yo, what's up, man?
Want to talk about HOTD? There are surprises in these trailers. So what's the story about? The story's, it's 200 years before Game of Thrones. It's 2 rival factions fighting for the Iron Throne. It's Rhaenyra versus a half-brother, Aegon. Aegon is Team Green, Rhaenyra is Team Black. They've all got dragons. Rhaenyra and Alicent are...
Doomed Yuri, I believe is the term.
Alicent and Rhaenyra are like on opposing sides, but they kind of want to make peace and they kind of want to do kisses on each other's faces. And Daemon is Rhaenyra's husband and he's a loose cannon. And Corlys likes to stand on the docks and he's got a lot of boats.
And a lot of glue on his boots.
He's got gluey boots. He's got a couple of bastards, Alan and Adam. And Alan is humble and Adam is ambitious. And there's lots of resentment about Corlys's not accepting of them.
Oh god, and then there's Aegon's siblings. Aemond, my gosh.
Aemond, I feel like, is one of the most fun to watch characters in this show. He has so much like physicality to him and such like a strong, sharp, twisted personality. He's great. So I'm excited for Aemond.
We do love Aemond heads here. Helena's also around, Aegon's sister wife, which is a great portmanteau.
Helena is puzzling for many reasons. Helena in the book is a pretty straightforward character. Like, she's literally described as like happy and fat and a doting mother. And that's like kind of all of her characterization.
That's how the history book presents her.
Yes, she was happy and fat and then she died. For reasons unclear. But in the show, she sees the future and she can like astrally project to Matt Smith. And she likes jealous. Beatles. But I'm very, very, very curious what they're doing with her in this show because they show her giving birth.
It looks like.
She's screaming and she's sweaty and that means one thing.
So many goddamn childbirth scenes in this show.
Yeah.
I'm sure this one's gonna go well, though.
Yeah, this one's gonna be great. No complications at all. Who is Selena giving birth to? Is it Maelor?
I don't know who else it would be.
Because in the books, she has a 3rd child, Maelor, and there's this whole sad, sorry incident where Maelor dies, which has political repercussions. And George Martin wrote a long, angry blog post about how he's angry that House of the Dragon Season 2 didn't include Maelor. So are they adding Maelor in at the last minute? Is that what's happening?
When we discussed that blog post a year and a half ago in our End of House of the Dragon video, I said, like, George, it appears as though he was making some presumptions about the show.
Yes.
Because he said, well, if they don't have Maelor in Season 2, then how is Helena's death going to be explained in Season 3? It's one of those toxic butterflies.
It feels like he's in the room with me. This is incredible.
Do you want another burrito? And I was like, but George, it's like they've got 8 episodes to either come up with another reason for why Helena should die. Like, Helena, as I said while no one was listening, Helena has a lot of reasons to be screaming in this show.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of time to have that baby still exist.
But like, the fact remains, it would be weird if Helena gave birth to a baby in Season 3 because she did not appear to be pregnant in Season 2.
Yeah.
Like, it's not something that they set up.
Maybe it's an early on miscarriage.
What's the purpose of that scene? Why add a miscarriage? Like, there's a lot that they've got to do. There's a lot to do this season. There's
a lot of characters in Fire and Blood who don't do shit for like the majority of the quote unquote plot. So I think that it does make sense for Condal and co to have to make up, move around, embellish a lot of shit because like, it's just inherent to what the show is and where it's coming from.
Yeah, so they have this weird problem where like the main characters of the story don't have anything to do, and the side characters have a lot to do.
Yeah.
Like, this is a story in which
There's a shifting roster of who's the most important person.
Yeah, like Ormond Hightower and Daeron Targaryen. Haven't heard of them? Well, they're the new main characters.
Yeah.
Like, there's all these people who...
Ulf and Hugh, those two, like,
Yeah.
side dullards from season 2, like, they're gonna be super important in season 3.
The thing I keep thinking as well is, like, let's not forget that Rhaenyra has 4 living children. She has Aegon and Viserys are her 2 little blonde kids with Daemon. And I reckon if you put a gun to the head of 9 out of 10 people who watch House of the Dragon, they could not tell you what those kids' names are or where they are or what's going on with
I believe
them.
they were named once in the show. Oh, maybe a few more times than once, but yeah, barely at all.
But, like, those 2 are
They're so important. They're so important to the ongoing plot of the show.
Spoilers. They're both future kings of Westeros. And also, like, Aegon has a dragon called Stormcloud. And I've got a lot of Stormcloud questions.
Yeah.
Because this is the story of the dragons dying. And it's not going to happen the way it happens in the book. Because in the book, Aegon gets intercepted by the Triarchy and he flies off on Stormcloud to escape, and Stormcloud gets wounded and dies. And they can't do that because we've seen Stormcloud. He's like that big.
He's a cat.
He's a little puppy dragon. So he's not flying Aegon anywhere.
Almost like 18 months have elapsed between seasons 2 and 3. So what's the circumstance of Jace's death?
Well, they're fighting the Triarchy in the
It's
Gullet
so much
battle.
less compelling if he's not trying to save his little brother. I mean, Joffrey notwithstanding.
It's going to be really hard for them to do this in an elegant way and adapt the books faithfully, I think.
Speaking of Rhaena,
Yeah.
like that's clunky and difficult to work out in a way that's faithful. I feel that the Nettles plot also was going to be thorny and strange, inelegant. So I see where the impetus to change it comes from. Let them cook. I'm not going to say it's going to be great, but let's just see what they're up to.
But yeah, it does seem like they're removing the book character Nettles and putting Rhaena in Nettles' shoes instead. And that raises a lot of questions about, like, who is Rhaena now?
Let's consider the role that, like, Nettles plays in unraveling Daemon and Rhaenyra's relationship in the book. I could see Rhaena, like, showing up, having claimed this wild, insane dragon in the Vale. We know that Daemon had written Rhaena off as a kid because she hadn't hatched a dragon, right?
Yeah.
So this is going to be the most impressive thing ever to Daemon.
Yeah, I
And I
agree.
think
Yeah.
that that's going to, like, recontextualize what he thinks of Rhaenyra. But we've already done that plot twice. So you had a big problem with prophecy being the thing that, like, dictates characters' actions. Here's an avenue that could make it actually really fucking cool. The unraveling of Daemon's motivations via his daughter, who's, like, becoming everything he wanted out of anyone.
Yeah.
Because that means that, like, his personality, his experience as a real living human man is what's guiding his actions rather than some fucking prophetic vision from a guy in a tree who doesn't even exist yet.
Yeah, so maybe this is about Daemon's relationship with Rhaena as a father, trying to teach her. And so, like, you know, in the books, Daemon and Nettles are hanging out in the Riverlands, you know, hunting for Aemond or whatever. Maybe that's what Daemon and Rhaena do in the show.
Yeah, so Daemon and Nettles' relationship, Fire and Blood does that frustrating thing where it could be one of a few different things, but, like, it's either a romantic thing or a father or a parental thing.
Or both, because it's George Martin.
Targaryens. And, like, that's still on the cards for House of the Dragon, I guess.
I really don't think that HBO is going to have Matt Smith having sex with his daughter on television. But
if they were ever going to do it, it's this show.
Maybe
Zaslav's been hunkering for this for 30 years, and this is finally his chance.
Who knows?
Avoid incest at all
costs. Yeah, so maybe that's the way that this show is going to tease out the father-daughter relationship that Daemon and Nettles had in the book.
I like that idea. I like the bit in the trailer where Ormond is saying that the Targaryens are a savage race and we act with holy purpose to restore a rightful king.
Who just happens to be a Targaryen.
Well, yeah, it is very funny that Ormond is saying Targaryens are bad, so we need to put this good Targaryen, not this bad Targaryen on the throne.
Yeah, that rhetoric is about how Daemon and therefore Rhaenyra is a Valyrian supremacist.
Yeah, which is one of the cool, interesting things that they do, is that they lean into the idea of, like, Viserys wants to show you his Onogrion. Even happy old dottery Paddy Considine is, like, a big fan of blood sacrifice and, like, lizard incest and, like, all this messed up stuff.
I love Paddy Considine's Viserys so much for exactly that reason. Like, he's just such a happy old man who's also, like, a horrific rapist murderer.
Who's responsible for the complete implosion of the continent. Yeah.
He's a monster. Like, objectively, he's a monster.
Yeah.
A foolish, incompetent, hypocritical dumbass.
Yeah.
And I love him so much.
And Daemon is like the other side of that because he's all of the same like stupidity, but just like on purpose instead of accidentally. Like he's just as destructive.
Yeah.
But like instead of Mr. Magoo, he's like, watch me drive my car into a wall.
Yeah.
I like how characters are calling that out. It continues this thing of the Greens are the morally self-righteous faction because, you know, Alicent positioned herself in contrast to Rhaenyra by being all, well, I'm pious, whereas Rhaenyra is running around bonking her uncle and being more chaotic. And of course, you know, Alicent's whole thing is partly hypocritical because she's having sex with Kristen Cole and she's doing lies and murder as well. But I like how they have like a different ideological flavor to Team Green and Team Black, where the Greens are more holier than
Law
thou.
and order.
It'll be really interesting to see what they're doing with Ormond, because Ormond is out here talking about religion. And he has, is that a censer on his belt there?
Yeah. So he's steering into the faith there as well.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because the High Towers, you know, they're the family of Old Town, which is the seat of the Citadel and the Faith of the Seven, the Starry Sept.
It's like the Vatican. This guy lives next to the Pope. He seems to be a religious type. He's buddies with the Pope. But isn't it curious that we haven't seen Darren in any of the promotional material yet?
Yes.
We got a good shot of his dragon Tessarion in the previous trailer.
Fucking dope.
Tessarion looks fantastic.
And there's no one in that little saddle there.
Yeah.
It's very conspicuous.
Tessarion's in autopilot mode.
When Darren was invoked in season 2, it was like Alicent's one glimmer of hope, like the one good thing I created in this world, because she asks her brother Gwaine what Darren is like, and he says he's good. Yeah. He's a good lad. And like you can see the light of God re-enter her eyes when he says that.
By my count, there are 9 battles. Yep. There are 9 major battles that need to happen in this war.
Cool.
And they have 16 episodes in which to do them. That's a battle more than every other episode.
Yep.
I'm assuming that they'll skip and combine some of them.
Absolutely. Like how many of those battles feature and are relevant to the arcs of multiple major characters?
Most of them.
Really? So the Gullet's obviously going to happen. That was supposed to be the season 2 finale.
And then like Stonehenge, we've seen all these shots of Daemon battling with Rivermen on foot in the trailers.
Right.
I think that's Daemon taking Stonehenge with the Tullys and the Riverlords. I think that's what that is.
Okay. That might be like a 3-minute sequence just to show that what Daemon's up to. Like, it might not be
probably.
a major set piece.
I mean, we've seen shots
That's
from
the thing. A lot of these battles could just be like minor plot points in an episode, but like some of them have to be the focal point of the episode, like the Gullet.
Yeah, I think the answer is, they're not spending 30 minutes on each of these battles.
Like the way they did the Burning Mill, right?
Yeah.
Really great.
Yeah.
Really effectively communicated everything that needed to be communicated. And it was like, it obviously didn't waste much budget and it looked awesome.
Yeah.
It was great. I love the way they handled that. And they can do things like that for some of these battles. Obviously, many of them should be truncated. Like they have to be very efficient and effective with their storytelling.
It's going to be difficult to pull them all off, even in their most minimal form possible. And like ultimately, like most of the time needs to go to the drama and the characters, and there's like 40 characters, so like it's a lot to cover, is all I'm saying. But we hear a voiceover by Daemon saying to Rhaenyra, "You have the power that no man has ever wielded."
Well, he says you now have the power. So, like, what's the context in which he's saying this?
What is good about Rhaenyra's character is that she clearly is someone who is wrestling with the weight of responsibility of power. She is one of the people who really is thoughtful about like the ethics of the power that she wields. And so it is an interesting thing where what happens when you give a moral, thoughtful person the greatest
Nuclear
armada
arsenal
of nuclear weapons that's ever been assembled. That's a good and interesting question. Daemon obviously is going to say you should conquer the world, but Rhaenyra is going to disagree. And
Until they kill another one of her children.
See, that's the thing. Like, I mean, obviously we've talked about how the structure of season 2 was balked, and the death of Jace at the Gullet was meant to be the climax to season 2, which then propels Rhaenyra into capturing King's Landing and being more assertive. I guess they're doing that same thing, just they've delayed the climax. Yeah, I mean, because Daemon is currently in the Riverlands. And will Daemon go back to Harrenhal
That's
before
another. It's like,
Aemon
when
arrives?
is Daemon saying this to Rhaenyra? 'Cause
Yeah, that's
she's
what
at
I'm thinking.
Dragonstone. He's still at Harrenhal.
Yeah, well, maybe Daemon is at King's Landing with Rhaenyra and he's saying, hey, we should go and, like, just fire and blood and just nuke all of the green armies and then conquer the world. Like, maybe that's what he's saying.
The other complication here is whatever the fuck was going on in the season 2 finale with Rhaenyra's insane plan to burn Lannisport.
Oh, that was so weird,
Like, what
dude.
the fuck is going on there?
Yeah, that was so weird. She was like, oh, let's attack Lannisport. Was it Old Town? Old Town and Lannisport?
And it's like, if you're gonna write some red herrings, at least make them be believable.
Yeah, well, that was odd. And we talked about how frustrating it was that after the sowing, Rhaenyra seemed like she was hell-bent on taking violent action. But then...
They have to delay it until after the Gullet.
And there was, there was that scene with Mysaria where Rhaenyra backed off again and she was like, oh, I don't actually want to attack anyone. But the whole plan, like there was that secret conversation in the show where Rhaenyra talked with Alicent, and Alicent said, I will make sure that King's Landing surrenders to you, and you can kill my son Aegon, and I just want to leave. And that is a huge departure from the books, because in the books, Alicent is defiant and hates Rhaenyra and does not want to surrender to her.
Or so the history books would have you believe.
The books would have you believe. And so in the trailers, we see Alicent leaving. And it's like, well, is she going to be captured by Team Black and then dragged back to King's Landing? What's the point of having her wander off like that if she's just going to be dragged
Yeah,
back?
because we see her in King's Landing in the trailers also. So she's coming back.
So will Alicent choose to come back? Why would she ride off and then choose to come back?
Are the shots of her leaving later on? Like, is she being let out for some reason?
See, I
Or is she
wonder if
escaping her capture much later?
it looks like Alicent is urging Aemond to surrender or flee.
Yep.
And we know that Aemond doesn't. But Alicent does. So it's like, does Aemond say, okay, I will, since you're my mother, I will allow you to leave?
But also, doesn't Alicent say to Rhaenyra, you can have my sons? Like, if that is, as you say, what's going to happen, that is Alicent going back on her deal.
How is Alicent going to ensure that King's Landing surrenders to Rhaenyra if Alicent isn't there?
Well, yeah. That's why I think that Alicent will be there, and that those shots of her leaving are some unrelated thing later. Yo, just dropping in. I'm pretty sure that what I'm getting at there is sort of confirmed in the final trailer, where it looks like Alicent is going to Harrenhal. So it looks like what we're seeing there is Alicent going to Harrenhal to trade with Aemond on Rhaenyra's behalf, or something like that. We talk about it later. Maybe the plan is to cede authority to Helena.
No one's going to listen to Helena.
Well, what if, like, literally no one else is there? Aemon's gone, there's no Aegon, Alicent's gone, Larys is gone. Who's the government?
Well, that's the thing. Like, in the book, when Rhaenyra and Daemon take King's Landing, Otto and Alicent are there. And they are the government. And so they imprison Alicent and they cut off Otto's head. But in the show, Alicent is
like
apparently
defanged.
maybe not there, or is about to leave, or she is like cooperating
She doesn't
at
have
least.
power.
And Otto is not there. Otto is locked in the
Honeyholt,
beehive of Honeyholt or something.
They're going to put him in the coffin.
If that's the case, Rhaenyra and Daemon are like, yeah, we're taking the capital. Who's going to stop us? And the answer is, Orwell? Is Orwell like the one guy, the one named character? Even Gawain Hightower. Gawain Hightower is meant to be at King's Landing, but he's tramping through the woods, tra-la-la, with Kristen Cole. And here's the thing. We see Daemon fighting people in the Red Keep in this trailer. And the people who he's fighting are random green shirts, red shirts. Just look at this. This is the courtyard. This is the map room. Yeah. This is Cersei's map room. and Daemon is fighting unnamed extras because that's all who's there. So, like, what are they going for with tone here? Because, like, is it meant to be anticlimactic when they take King's Landing because no one's there? Or are they trying...
They already did exactly that when Daemon took Harrenhal in season 2 episode...
Yeah, true.
3.
True, yeah. Because that was like a Daemon looking for a fight and just finding Simon Strong offering him goose.
Which was hilarious.
So they can't do that twice. So, like, I guess Daemon's going to fight through an army of extras and then get to the throne. And Daemon will have a moment with the throne and we'll say, ooh, is Daemon going to take the throne?
And then he doesn't, because of course he doesn't.
And then Daemon's like, oh, see you, Rhaenyra. I've decided to go back to the Riverlands.
Why is Daemon even here in the show? Like, it... I guess, like, in case Vagar, but, like, it's clunky. It's weird. Maybe it'll make sense in the episode. Trailers are weird, man.
Trailers are weird. I get the feeling that most of what we see in the trailers is only, like, the first few episodes, 2 or 3 episodes of the season, which is often what happens.
What is happening in this scene?
Yeah.
What is this?
Well,
Who is she? Like, the throne's empty.
Yeah, well, this particular shot is curious to me. I think this is a tricksy shot. I think that in the show where Alicent's looking up, I think there is someone on the throne.
And it's Aemond, or, hear me out, Otto.
Otto's back at King's Landing.
So the first 3 episodes, you know, it's actually an uninterrupted 180 minutes of Otto finding his way back to King's Landing. It's the most incredible cinema you've ever seen. And then he gets back and immediately dies when Rhaenyra shows up.
Of an unrelated stroke. What if he was at King's Landing the whole time? Because, like, everyone is, like, saying, as though it's confirmed, that, Otto's been captured by the Beesbreeds. And I think
it's actually sort of fucking rogue to suggest.
I mean, it's very funny to say, and I think that's why people keep saying it, but we have no idea if Otto is captured by the Beesbreeds or not. Like, what if he just got under the floor to hide when things got hairy, and he's the beast beneath the boards?
Oh, yeah.
And he's got to get up and get onto the throne.
Sure, why not?
Why not? Well, no, I think that Otto probably is in the Reach, because they sent him to the Reach. But I really like this shot because I like just seeing how everyone's looking up at the throne, except for Helena, who's looking down.
Yeah, classic Helena moment.
I mean, it reminds me of when Daemon killed Vaemond and Helena was, like, freaked out and covered her ears and looked away. Like, I wonder if Helena's looking away from something that's disturbing. I mean, look at Alicent's face. She looks disgusted.
Yeah. That's the sort of face you make when Aegon is in the room.
Like, yeah. I mean, it could be like Aemond is on the throne holding someone's severed head or something. Like, that's what I vibe seeing this.
And, like, is she saying it's not safe here because Rhaenyra's coming, or is she saying it's not safe here because Aemond is in charge?
Alicent will leave King's Landing in a snowy parka. Helena goes with her, presumably, but then we see the shot of Helena giving birth indoors. Is that in the Red Keep? Where is that?
It certainly looks like it has the same color language as the Red Keep, right?
Yeah.
But who's that on the right? Like, is that a Maester's cloak? Or even on her left?
I mean, it could be Dragonstone, it could be Gerardus. I mean, that would be so different and weird if Helena births a child at Dragonstone.
I mean, that's sort of fun, isn't it?
It is sort of fun, but I mean, Helena's death in the books is that she throws herself on the spikes of Maegor's.
And that was already, like, visually foreshadowed in House of the Dragon Season 2.
I think that Helena must die on the spikes of Maegor's Holdfast.
I think Helena, like, for the logic of the show, should not leave the Red Keep ever.
I agree, because she doesn't travel well.
Yeah.
She's not an outdoors girl. She's an indoor cat. Like, who are even these men? Like, has Alicent gone up to some random green guards and said, disobey Aemond and follow me instead?
Yeah, whose purview are these men acting under? Like, who can Alicent invoke?
I think one possible answer is that Aemond says, okay, I consent for you to leave. I will send these men. And I can see that as an interesting thing for Aemond to do, because Aemond does crave love from his mother and doesn't get it. but, you know, maybe as a gesture of sanity will try to help his mum live. Like, that could make sense and be interesting and meaningful.
Or maybe Orwild did it.
Orwild helped Allison sneak onto Dragonstone last season, which
Somehow.
was like, who is this guy? Davos fucking Seaworth? He's a maester. Like, is there a chain in the link for smuggling? Like, how does Orwild know how to do that?
It's an onion ring.
Through the blockade? An onion. That's very good.
Thank you. I'm glad you got that.
I like that. It took me a second.
That's all right.
That's so baffling. It's so baffling. So
anyway, the trailer.
What's going on here?
So this is Rhaenyra. That's Viserys' skull, right?
Yeah. So Rhaenyra is like deeply upset by an object that looks like a skull. I thought at first it might be Jace's skull, but I think you're right that it's Viserys, because
these are the king's chambers that she's in right now. This set, and you can actually see Viserys' old Valyria model behind Rhaenyra there.
That's his Inogrion Lego set that we saw Aegon smash previously, but I guess that's like the ruins of it. Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing, is that Rhaenyra has tried to honor Viserys' legacy and protect the realm for Aegon's dream, but also Viserys' legacy is so visibly bullshit. Like, Viserys' legacy is desolation and mismanagement, which is perfectly symbolized both by the ruined city model and by his deformed leprous skull.
Yeah. So I reckon whatever this scene is actually going to be fucking awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be after Rhaenyra takes King's Landing.
Yeah.
This is her confrontation with her dead father. Yeah. Because she never got to go to Viserys' funeral. Viserys did Viserys have a funeral?
Not that we know of.
This is Rhaenyra trying to get some closure for the death of her father, who she feels like her father was taken from her by the Greens and by politics. And so there is so much emotion here. I feel like this is already a banger scene that is going to kick my heart in the ass. I love it already.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful. I wonder if Daemon's going to have a similar Viserys moment. Because, like, Daemon had those weird flashbacks, well, hallucinations with Viserys in season 2. Is Daemon going to have to confront Viserys' legacy in King's Landing this season? What is Daemon's presence in King's Landing this season? I agree. What does Daemon do this season? So he abandons Harrenhal, captures King's Landing, and then the rest of the season.
Like in the books, he mucks around in the Riverlands with Nettles, who he may or may not be having sex with and may or may not be the father of. And then he confronts Aemond and dies fighting him in the God's Eye Lake. And Rhaenyra gets upset with him and orders Nettles' death. If we're going by the logic that Rhaena is Nettles, is Rhaenyra going to order the death of Rhaena? Well, that would be bonkers.
I do see that sort of thing possibly happening, like with Rhaenyra's descent into crazydom.
Are they going to do Rhaenyra's descent into crazydom?
That's a good question.
Because I think the show sees Rhaenyra as their main character. Yeah. And they see Rhaenyra as the most sympathetic. Like, she's the center of it.
Yeah.
I think that it could be really interesting if they do her descent into madness. Well, madness is the wrong word, but because Rhaenyra she does lose the plot a bit, and she loses her grip on her marbles a bit, but there's always some like logic behind what she's doing, or if not logic, she's motivated by grief and fear and determination and sunk costs. Like, I think that's who Rhaenyra is in the book.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Cersei. But I mean, it is exactly the same. Like, from the outside, would you blame Cersei for being paranoid? I think it's sort of the same thing. This is the thing I love about Fire and Blood. I don't like a lot about Fire and Blood, but I do love how it's George, like, recycling Ice and Fire main characters in a different framing that makes you think of them in a completely different light.
What were we saying?
Something about Daemon.
Daemon is a pickle, but because his whole season 2 arc was about reaffirming loyalty to Rhaenyra, and his story for the rest of the book is about abandoning Rhaenyra and doing his own weird stuff with Nettles. So yeah, I'm very curious. I mean, we see from this trailer,
if they don't do that with Rhaena, what are they going to do with Daemon for the rest of the show?
Well, no one was expecting his DMT arc in Harrenhal last season.
And that did cook. That was the best part of the show.
It was good, but it also was emblematic of all the problems with season 2.
Well, I think that what was emblematic of the problems of season 2 was that there was no high-octane action plot to contrast Daemon's navel-gazing.
Yeah. I mean, not even high octane, just like medium octane. Yeah. Just like any kind of action would have been good.
V6 engine perhaps would have done it.
Yeah. Here's another question is what's going on at Harrenhal? Because we see in the trailers Aemond arrives at Harrenhal, his Vhagar arriving at Harrenhal. I think that's an extra. I think we don't know who that is. But in the book, Aemond comes and he murders every strong. He commits, he wipes out, aside. He wipes out all the strongs. It's going to break my heart to see Simon Strong killed. The nice goose man killed by Aemond. But also what happens is that Aemond has a romantic entanglement or a sexual or a psycho-emotional... You know how Aemond is. It's going to be weird and complicated.
Yes, with Alice Rivers.
With Alice Rivers. The barn owl.
The barn owl.
Yes. Which I'm so fascinated by because in the book, Alice seems a bit sinister. She's got a bit going on, but she like tries to establish herself as like a fire murder tyrant birthing the new dragon king is something she does later on in the books. I don't think that's where they're going with Alice in the show. Because Alice in the show is like, hey, Daemon, please stop doing war crimes.
Yeah.
I mean, she does also maybe assassinate Grover Tully?
Question mark.
With a bad Panadol or something?
Yeah. She gave him autism with the Tylenol.
Yeah, something like that.
Is that reference still relevant anyway?
I can see Aemond being drawn to Alice, but why would Alice want to be connected to Aemond? And I think one possible answer is maybe she'll try to steer him towards being less of a monster, because that's what she did with Daemon.
Yeah.
I think it's really funny that like Alice Rivers just like puts up a little sign like, who is it, Lucy and Peanuts? Like the doctor is in, come and talk to me about your... Like she's just like a one-woman de-radicalization program for incestuous blonde youths. Like she just comes in and brings these like angry, broken men and tries to make them a little less angry and broken.
It's so funny that Aemond is like so clearly just role-playing Daemon here. Like this is the exact same scene that he has conquering Harrenhal in season 2.
Yeah, I think it'd be really fun if they like recreate the shots even.
Yeah, I think Aemond might see Daemon with the eye patch.
That's an awesome prediction.
Yeah.
Because that is that weird vision that Daemon has where he sees Aemond in an eye patch.
He sees himself in the eye patch.
So it's interesting like how Aemon's arc in Harrenhal might repeat Daemon's arc in Harrenhal.
And where it might diverge.
I think it'd be hilarious if Alice does exactly the same shtick on Aemond. And in some ways Aemond behaves the same, but in some ways Aemond ultimately behaves differently.
I reckon he's going to break down even more, and also he's going to rebel a bit more.
Yes.
He might kill Oscar Tully. Like, you never know where this show's going to go.
That would be dark.
I mean, this book plot needs those Tullys later, but who knows what the show wants to do.
I think that what they're going for in the show and the book is that Daemon and Aemond are alike, but Daemon is wiser than Aemond because Aemond is a teenager.
He's a foolish kid.
I mean, he looks somewhere between 30 and 45 in the show. He's a
teenager.
But he's meant to be a teenager, and I think for that reason alone, he's not capable of learning and reflecting and backing off and backing down in the way that Daemon is. And so I think that this season, we're going to see Daemon choosing to step back and refocus perhaps on Rhaena, while Aemond is not capable of backing down, and so he will not listen to Alice, and he will just do more war crimes. Because like Aemond burns the shit out of the Riverlands in the books on Vhagar, and I think he's going to do that in the show.
God willing.
So I think that it'll be interesting seeing Alice offer the same advice that she gave Daemon, trying to do the same thing with Aemond that she did with Daemon, but Aemond won't listen, and he'll murder all the Strongs. He will realize that Daemon bamboozled him because while Aemond is at Harrenhal, Daemon takes King's Landing. And then Aemond will burn the Riverlands until Daemon turns up. And then Daemon and Aemond will kill each other, falling into the God's Eye.
Yeah, but that's like a season and a half from now.
Yeah,
that's like an entire season between Aemond taking Harrenhal and Daemon and Aemond killing each other.
That's a great point. So what the fuck does Aemond do for an entire season? It would be so funny if they recreated Daemon's arc from season 2, but like it seems like such a waste of time with the limited time they have.
Especially because so many people complained about how much time was spent on that in season 2. Like, can you imagine doing it again after that?
And Aemond is one of the most interesting and charismatic characters. Like, they've got to do stuff with him. It can't just be him and Alice and Simon Strong.
Yeah, the thing is, Aemond is so interesting when you play him off of Aegon and Alicent and Otto. And like, this is a new situation. Maybe there could be some interesting stuff going on here, but Aegon's gone. Alicent's not going to be like they're going to have one scene together, right?
Like, Aemond is not going to have a conversation with Oscar Tully. He's going to say kneel or die.
There has to be a fucking justification for Aemond staying put in Harrenhal for an entire season while there's a shitload of insane bull crap going on in the Reach, which is like just a half hour's Vhagar flight from Harrenhal. Like, explain to me how Tumbleton is going to happen. Like, what's Aemond doing?
It looks like they've got a big sequence of him burning Harrenhal.
It looks like they've got a couple of shots of him burning Harrenhal.
Is that when he arrives, or is that later? Because, like, if he burns Harrenhal that badly... I mean, I guess Harrenhal's big. He can burn...
He can burn bits of it.
But is he going to, like, burn the shit out of it and then live in it?
Like, undoing Daemon's renovations, right?
Yeah, I think that Daemon's got... You know, he'll burn it, but then he'll settle in. And then he'll talk with Alice, and maybe Alice will try to stop Aemond from killing Simon, but Aemond ultimately will kill Simon.
All the while he goes off on little tours to burn other parts of the Riverlands because he's an angry little boy.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Alan's arc in season 2 was that he was mad that Corlys didn't acknowledge him and accept him. And
then, like, has the audacity to march in and be like, I'm part of your life now. You're my first mate, and I'm going to upstart you, and you're my family now because I've lost my other family.
Yeah, and so Alan sort of had the outburst and got a little bit of recognition from Corlys, and now he's dragged into this war. And I suppose the arc will be that Corlys will finally say, okay, like, I legitimize you as a Velaryon.
And also, I'm fucking sorry.
And I'm sorry, and you can be the heir to Driftmark, and then...
also, if you know anything about Laenor, please tell me.
It would be so funny if Laenor turned up.
I know. At the gullet.
Like, he saves the day.
That's who Jace is trying to say. Like, Laenor shows up at the gullet to try and help Rhaenyra's forces, and then he's targeted by the Triarchy, and Jace tries to save Laenor.
I think it's Rhaena. I think Rhaena and Sheepstealer are going to be the surprise MVPs of the gullet. Because what better way to explosively introduce the fact that Rhaena has Sheepstealer?
Yeah, that is a big game-changing fact, and that is a fun way to demonstrate that.
Where else does Sheepstealer do stuff? Tumbleton?
The capture of King's Landing, like there's not even a battle.
There's nothing to burn except civilians at King's Landing.
Yeah, no, you're probably right. So, like, we're subbing out Aegon and Stormcloud for Rhaena and Sheepstealer, right? That's what's happening?
Right, so maybe Sheepstealer will die at the gullet?
Oh, but then what's the fucking point of all of this?
They would have spent more time on Rhaena getting Sheepstealer than Rhaena having Sheepstealer.
No way that Sheepstealer dies at the first time it actually does anything.
Then where does Sheepstealer die?
Rhaena, Sheepstealer goes off into the Vale at the end of the show.
With Rhaena?
With Rhaena, and Rhaena becomes like a fire witch.
It'd be so fucking funny if Rhaena became a fire witch. It's because it's so different to who she is in the book, which is like a proper lady who helps make peace and politics in King's Landing.
Well, that's what the history books would have you believe. A good one. But I'm actually seriously thinking that maybe Rhaena doesn't want to ally with Rhaenyra because Rhaenyra was a dick to Rhaena in the past. So that's where the tension between her and Daemon and Rhaenyra comes from.
I like how Adam and Alan are different in the show. Because in the book, Adam and Alan are both teenagers and they're both bold and brave and they both want dragons. Whereas in the show, Adam is brave and wants a dragon and is ambitious and wants social mobility, whereas Alan is just humble and doesn't want a dragon and just would like some recognition from Corlys, but it takes him 8 episodes to say that. And Alan in the books becomes a famous mariner, Alan Oakenfist, and the leader of the Velaryons, and that's a whole thing. There's an interesting shot in the older teaser trailer where the Velaryons look over the side of their boat and they look surprised and dismayed to find there are arrows stuck into the side of the boat.
How did those get there? I don't remember putting those. I just had this ship fixed.
What's going on? Yeah, that's true. Like, Corlys just spent an entire season like redoing the upholstery on his Cadillac, and now Shariko has keyed his car. That's messed up. And I think that this has got to be some kind of Shariko shenanigan. Hashtag Shariko shenanigans.
It's like an announcement.
Well, why would... Yeah,
I don't know. When you have the element of surprise, why would you use it to say, hello, we're here?
Because that's the fun thing, is that the Valerion Navy is not expecting this kooky pirate to come out of nowhere and fuck their shit up.
Yeah, it's a complete blind side.
Nor is Shuriko expecting like
Dragons.
5 dragons to come and burn her fleet. It's a series of surprises for all involved. But yeah, the arrow thing's very interesting to me. And what's going on with Corlys? Because Corlys is this proud, rich man who wants to establish his legacy, except all of his offspring keep dying. And it becomes a battle of survival for House Velaryon, because what happens in the books is that the Triarchy burn Driftmark. Like, they steal and ransack a lot of Corlys's home and all of his treasures and his new castle and all of his cool stuff and Spicetown, and like everything Corlys has built. A lot of it's damaged and laid waste to by the Triarchy in the books.
And his legacy is only sort of revitalized by Alan in the future.
Yeah, so I think that's what the Corlys Alan story is Corlys
loses everything.
He loses everything. He's lost his wife, he's lost his son, he's lost his daughter, and now he's going to discover that all he has left is his bastard Alan.
Especially after his fake grandchildren, who were supposed to be the kings, die.
Jace, Luke, and Joff. Yeah.
Because like that was his justification, is like, oh, well, so we're losing all of our actual things, but the legacy is going to continue. Like, these boys are technically our family.
Due to a technicality, this child who looks nothing like me is my legacy.
Yeah, and you know that's what worked for him, and he's losing all of that.
Yeah.
So Alan is all he has left, and Adam, but you know, asterisk on Adam. Are they going to do the Green Men?
Yeah. So Corlys's bastard Adam in the books is said to have visited the Green Men on the Isle of Faces, and the Green Men are the deeply mysterious satyr tree spirits connected to the old gods. And we saw a Green Man in season 2, to the shock of everybody.
Because they put that in there, like they have to.
It would be very, very weird for them to shoehorn a Green Man into Harrenhal where it doesn't belong, but then not have a Green Man in season 3 where it does belong, where it is mentioned in the books.
There is so much like extra detail in House of the Dragon leaning towards the Isle of Faces that it's like an ultimate troll if Condal doesn't put that in there.
All those scenes where they're gazing up at the weirwood in season 1, and like then, they didn't need to be there, but they put them there.
And then in season 2, the Harrenhal weirwood is literally leaning out into the God's Eye.
Yeah, I agree that all of that is a good reason for Alan to visit the Green Men on the God's Eye.
Take note that Rhaenyra specifically took Adam to Harrenhal in the season 2 finale, so Adam has been to Harrenhal. He has flown over the Isle of Faces, so there.
But the question is, what the fuck is the story purpose of that? Because it's
not really justified in Fire and Blood.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, Alan visits the deeply mysterious tree men at the metaphysical heart of the continent, and then he dies.
Yeah.
Similar to how Daemon gets those weirwood visions, and then he dies.
He dies, yeah. And Aemond has prophetic knowledge from Alice Rivers, and then
he dies.
Yeah.
How cool is this shot of Kristen inside the footprint of a dragon?
It's awesome, and I'm sure that they've been wanting to do that for the entire show.
This was like on the storyboard when they pitched this show to David Zaslav.
As we saw in season 2, episode 8, Kristen and Gwaine, Fabian and Freddie, incredible stuff. They know what they're doing there.
They're perfect foils for each other. Kristen being utterly like bleak and nihilistic.
Unbelievably disillusioned.
Who knows?
He's so disillusioned that he doesn't even know what's going on anymore.
I love what we see of Gwaine as well in the trailers, because we see Gwaine like covered in mud and looking extremely perturbed and shocked and out of his element. He was looking so like well put together and so smarmy and confident in season 2. And now, 5 minutes later, it's like, oh yeah, war is like actually not any fun at all. So I think that, they should be able to knock this out of the park. But it raises the question of like, what is Gwaine's fate? Because, you know, Kristen in the books is killed by arrows ignominiously. He doesn't get a cool badass ending, and that's the point. what's going to happen to Gwaine? Is Gwaine also going to die the same way? Is Gwaine going to survive?
Oh God, I would love pretty much any of the directions it could go, but I do love the idea of like Gwaine inheriting Kristen's command and the army and their death march, and now Gwaine like has to sort of search for meaning that Kristen was defiant in not finding.
I think we talked about the idea of what if Gwaine kills Kristen, and then Gwaine just says, "Yeah, let's go home. Like, let's just not do this." That might be interesting. I like the shot where Daemon is telling Rhaenyra, "Let's build a dragon empire. Our children will rule it forever and a day."
Oh, you really think so, Daemon?
And then it pans to Rhaenyra's child, Jace,
Who is not Daemon's child.
who is not Daemon's child and who will not live forever. In fact, he'll die tomorrow.
He'll live for a day.
Yeah. But, you know, it is true that Daemon and Rhaenyra's children will rule.
They won't rule a dragon empire, though.
And they won't be happy about it.
Ooh.
And Viserys only rules for like a year or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's not what Daemon had in mind.
No. The gullet's going to be so cool.
Yeah, I mean, they've talked up the gullet in the press for a while about the gullet being one of the like biggest, most expensive, most complex battle sequences ever filmed ever. So, you know, I'm sure it'll be visually impressive.
Let's hope it's emotionally sound as well.
Well, that's always a challenge, isn't it? Because when you've got actors clinging to the back of a CGI lizard, it's a challenge to have human scenes and connection.
Yeah.
So, you know, we'll see what they
Well, I guess
cook.
that just means that the narrative beats need to carry it even more. Here's the real surprise of the gullet. Helena and Dreamfire.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Look, my question is, are we ever going to see Helena ride Dreamfire? Even in a vision. Like, what if they gave us a vision where Helena is riding Dreamfire through the astral plane and we realize that,
sick.
all of Helena's visions come from her psychic connection to Dreamfire. And every time she's having one of these visions, she's riding Dreamfire through time.
That'd be so fucking sick.
Like, if
that visual would be so cool for casual viewers, and it would imply so much for hardcores.
And it makes so much like metaphorical sense because like
she doesn't need to ride Dreamfire in the physical world.
Yeah, she doesn't
They're
need
connected, so
because she's
psychically.
She's always aloft on the wings of Dreamfire. But I mean, its name is fucking Dreamfire because metaphorically, it like Dragonflight to George Martin. It's about the power of imagination. It's about the power of hopes and dreams and fantasy. That's what he's writing about. And Dreamfire and Helena should embody that. And like that would give Helena what she needs, which is a personality and hopes and dreams. The bad version of Helena is someone who doesn't want anything. The bad version of Helena is season 8 Bran Stark.
Yeah.
Bran Stark was such a nothing burger because Bran didn't want anything, didn't have any emotions, just said, "Oh, everything was inevitable." It was so empty and stupid and dumb. So let's not repeat that with Helena, right? Because sometimes Helena feels like that in House of the Dragon. Sometimes Helena is just like, "You're going to lose an eye. You're the beast beneath the boards."
That disaffected way of coming across only works if it is clearly behind something deeply suppressed. If it's like the facade that has to be there because what's underneath is so chaotic and disruptive that no one would be able to handle it. It has to be an autistic mask.
Helena works when she tells Alicent, "I liked it better before I was queen."
Yeah.
That's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And that's all that you need. Like that they have had those moments where you're like, "Oh, yeah, no, like she's not very communicative about it."
But there's so much ticking back there.
Yeah. There is so much there. And wouldn't it be awesome if we got invited into Helena's emotional world? Like, we've gone with Helena into the astral plane with Daemon, but that was not emotional at all. That was pure vision, prophecy,
have
nonsense.
Daemon and Helena ever said anything to each other before?
Yeah. And, like, Helena talks to Daemon, doesn't even mention the fact that Daemon had Helena's daughter son killed in front of her. So like that was not accessing her emotional world, but wouldn't it be incredible to access her emotional world through visions and through Dreamfire?
She needs to talk to Rhaenyra.
She does.
She needs to talk to Aemond. She needs to talk to Alice. Like, just give me more like scenes of actual substance
Yeah.
with Helena. Show me her on the dragon in the astral plane. That's such a cool fucking idea.
Yeah. All of that is an open question because, all she does for the rest of the book is she hangs out in the Red Keep, sad, and then kills herself. That's it. It's all open questions as to what they're going to do with her. And all we see in the trailer is this one thing of her apparently giving birth, which is fucking bizarre. Like, maybe she was secretly pregnant with Aegon's kid all this time.
It's Aemon's.
Yeah. I agree that like an Aemond Helena sexual relationship could make sense, but
it'd also be cool if it wasn't.
Yeah, look, I can see why Aemond would want Helena, but I don't see Helena wanting Aemond. Like, I think they would have to unpack that.
Yeah.
Or else it just feels like another abusive nightmare.
Yes.
And it's like...
It'd be really nice if there was just like this one weird, actually quite... I mean, they're still brother and sister, so it's fucked up.
Yeah.
But like, if they actually liked each other...
Could theoretically, but like they haven't done that. They haven't shown that. They haven't done that.
All we've had is like Aemond seeming to sympathize with Helena a little bit in season 1. When there were different actors.
Yeah. None of the like emotional groundwork is there for
whatever this is.
The father of the exactly. You know what this probably is a flashback, right?
Oh, to like Jaehaera's birth. Well, the twinses.
It's probably a flashback because Helena, as a prophecy vision time seer person, can have visions of the past as well as the future, surely.
That is so controversial to put a shot of Helena giving birth in the trailer for season 3 after all of this Maelor stuff. And then the flashback. Are you fucking kidding?
And that is like a diabolically provocative tease to the most online of the nerds to imply that Helena is birthing Maelor and then go, it already happened.
If that's
different baby.
True, that is Ryan Condal intentionally stoking a riot.
I don't think they're gonna do Maelor.
If they're doing Maelor, it's like this is it. Like this is the extent of it. I don't think there's time for her to have a baby and then lose the baby, and also that would feel so extraordinarily like contrived.
Yes. It would feel so contrived, it would feel so tacked on, the timeline wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, whereas if it's, oh my god, Helena's been pregnant with Aegon's child and we're doing a miscarriage or a stillbirth right now, that ties into other things that have already happened in the show. It also like makes sense logically and also narratively. There is time for it to like still contribute the exact same emotional weight that would lead to Helena's eventual suicide if that's what they're going to do.
Why will Helena commit suicide? And will Helena commit suicide? I mean, like it's such an open question. It would be so depressing.
Dreamfire dies.
Yeah, but we've never seen her with Dreamfire.
That's why we need the shot of her flying through space mind with Dreamfire so that we understand what it means when Dreamfire dies.
I think that what makes it so painful is that like in the show, Helena never gets to make a choice for herself, and if the only choice she ever gets to make is to end her own life, it's just so profoundly depressing. I mean, you know, and it could work, it could land, it could be powerful. I hope for Helena's sake that, like, God, like, I hope we get some glimmer of positivity but in her story at some point. They did not choose the safe course. They did not choose the easy option. Yeah. They're trying to cook and do something interesting. I commend them for that, if nothing else. Should we talk about Mysaria? There's no Mysaria in this trailer. Is Mysaria in this show anymore? Mysaria had a rough introduction because her accent in season 1 was completely
incomprehensible.
I just felt like it was like offensive, but I didn't know to whom. Maybe to me, maybe to her. I don't know.
Of all mankind.
Something was going on with her hair. Also, the reason why Mysaria is weird to me is that Mysaria swings between she's a powerless victim who's innocent of everything, and she just has a shitty boyfriend called Matt Smith. And then she swings to she's a spy master who can know everything and go anywhere and smuggle anyone any place. And she's sinister and capable. But then, nope, she's innocent and guileless, and she just wants the good, and she wants to protect the common people from Otto, and wants to Emma Darcy. I think that at best, that is a complex layered character with many aspects. And I think at worst, it's an inconsistent mess.
How's it work in the book? What's the bow on the package of Mazaria in the book?
Mazaria in the book is an asshole.
Yeah. Like, there's none of this sympathetic streak to her.
Mazaria in the books, it seems like she...
It's quite simple.
It seems like she enjoys wielding power.
But again, like, this is just the history book shit again. Like, how am I supposed to know if... God, it's such a Schrodinger's author thing, because... Is George saying this is what this was really like, or is George saying this is what they want you to think?
The book does invite us to question the historical narratives. That's part of the point. And I think that with Mazaria, we are seeing the story of a foreigner and a woman who is demonized for being a foreigner and a woman. And they're doing that in the show as well. So to what extent is that negative narrative true, and to what extent is it untrue? We can't know. But what is written in the book is that Mazaria becomes the master of whisperers for Rhaenyra and Daemon, and Mazaria seems to feed Rhaenyra's paranoia. Mazaria tells Rhaenyra that Adam is guilty of treason, which he isn't. Mazaria prevents Corlys from being freed, and she gets some people hanged. And Eustace suggests that Mazaria told Helena about Maelor's death, and that's why Helena kills herself, which George Martin seems to think is the truth, because that's what he talks about as the reason for Helena's death in his blog post.
Okay, so maybe all of this is real. And like paranoia over the monarch is a useful way to control them, so maybe that's all just about power. Maybe it's all about power, man. In the show, Mazaria does very much seem to be committed to justice for the innocent.
It's the story of someone who had nothing and was abused and was a victim, and her reaction to that was to try to gain power and to wield power and to claw her way up out of the pit and to try to use that power to help others like her, like in the scene with Otto when she's saying, you've got to close the child fighting pits. Like that makes sense to me. And it also makes sense to me that she discovers, oh, no one fucking listens to me.
Yeah,
and even when I've clawed my way out of the pit, and even when I'm at the absolute apex of the power I can possibly wield, I'm still powerless to fix the world. Like, I think that's a really realistic and powerful narrative.
And it very much mirrors what's going on with Alicent and Rhaenyra.
Yeah. So yeah, like I think that Mazaria works a fair bit in that respect. I think that where Mazaria doesn't work as well is in season 2, but because, as you said, Mazaria tries to be an influence on Rhaenyra, but Rhaenyra doesn't do anything and swings around, and she's like,
and there's like weird conflict with Jace and Mazaria, like via Rhaenyra's actions.
Yeah, Jace is mad that Rhaenyra's listening to Rhaenyra more than with him, which again would have been great if that was paid off with Jace's death in season 2, but not
their fault. Maybe the fracturing point between Mazaria and Rhaenyra will be the Game and Pale Hair sex workers lesbian revolution thing, because Mazaria will see that and think, oh, this is my shot. This is it.
Yeah, I actually think you're dead right. I think that they'll get to King's Landing and Mazaria will be like, hey, Rhaenyra, fantastic. Now we can finally do what we want to do, which is
communist
give justice
revolution
to the common people, communist revolution. And Rhaenyra will be like, oh,
how about a dragon empire?
How about a dragon empire? Because, like, you know, like this whole show's been about like Rhaenyra being like, once I've got the throne, it'll all be good and I could unite the realm and everything will be easy.
Yeah. This civil war is just an aberration of the system. It's not what the whole thing's about.
Like, she's like, step 1, take the throne. Step 2, ... Step 3, world
everything's
peace.
awesome forever.
But what she's going to discover is that step 2 is actually really hard and ruling's really hard. And so, yeah, I agree that I think Mazaria will want more progressive change and Rhaenyra will be like, for political reasons, I've actually got to not make that progressive change. And I agree that will disillusion Mazaria from Rhaenyra, and so Mazaria will instead hook up with Sylvie and Diana and Alinda and will work with Game and Palehair to enact a queer sex worker socialist revolution.
Gay
which
space
is
communism.
Yeah, gay space communism.
Fully automated.
Which it's easy to say all that, isn't it? In fact, it was I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of difficult to say all that actually. It's quite a mouthful. But I mean, there's a lot of different ways they could frame it. They could make it about gender. They can make it about class. They can make it about thoughts. They can make it about dragons. They can make it about religion. They can make it about sexual orientation.
But how much time is the show going to devote to this?
They can't make it too complicated. They can't make it too abstract. But all these issues are complicated and abstract.
Yeah, and they're all entirely relevant to every single theme and narrative arc of the show.
Yes.
So if they don't do it, they're like defying the purpose of the show's existence. And if they do it, it's like the people were bored during Damon's visions. You know?
They have to do it in a way that does justice to the complexity and weight and reality of the issues. But they also have 14 minutes to do it. Because in case we haven't mentioned, there's a fair bit of other stuff going on in this show, including a battle every second episode.
When you see Damon fighting those 3 nameless brown shirts on the Cersei map room, like, is he fighting the fucking concept of gender equity?
Yeah. And not to mention, like, Gaiman is not even the only one, isn't like
there's fucking
Tristan Trueflame and Perkin the Flea and the like, there's so much bullshit going on. So it's like,
it reminds me of like that era of the French Revolution where just like every other month some other regime shows up to do their insane ideology.
Yeah, and of course, like that's the kind of real history that George is drawing from.
Every history class gives each one of those movements one paragraph.
Yeah.
Because, like, we're all building to Napoleon. We're all building to Aemond and Daemon throwing down at the God's Eye.
And so now we need to distinguish between Aemond, Vaemond, Daemon, and Gaemon.
Gaemon, yep.
I'm a bit confused.
It's a lot. While we're on the subject of mysterious spy masters, can we talk about Lara Strong? Remember when it turned out that he had a squadron of elite, mute, insect-themed arson men?
Of course.
Where did they go? What happened to them? Where are they?
Like cicadas, they are hibernating on the ground for 17 years.
Laris is also... He's just leaving all of his power and prestige and security to hike through the woods on his club foot with
his surrogate son Aegon.
Yeah, I mean that's
who is burnt to a crisp.
That's a sharp right turn, isn't it? There is something comical about seeing Laris and Aegon walking through the woods, because like that doesn't seem like a practical idea, does it?
Sense.
Because like they're both like physically limited. Like Aegon broke like every bone in his legs, like what, a week ago? 2 weeks? A month?
A month.
It's like a month max. And now he's walking through the woods with Laris. So
is there a time skip?
Because that could justify Helena's pregnancy if Helena is pregnant.
This show has been fast and loose with time.
It's going to have to continue to be. I mean, like, the ages of the characters, of course, make no sense, because there have been 3 different actors playing Aegon, whereas Kristen Cole is apparently drunk from the juice that makes you young, because he looks exactly the same. He's aging backwards.
I like how you could have said the fountain of youth.
I said the juice that makes you young, yeah. You know what I looked up?
The juice box that keeps your wrinkles from forming.
The old formaldehyde pop. Hey, look, it's the sensor on Ormond Baratheon's belt again.
Wow.
So a sensor's a little thing that you swing around that has smoke for religious purposes in it, right? Is that what that is?
Yeah, it has good vibes in it, yeah.
I think that's what it is, but why would you have that on your belt when you're going into battle?
Actually, that's a smoke bomb, and he's holding on to it in case he needs to get away real fast.
Ormond seems like an interesting guy, and he appears to be screaming at the end of the trailer for some reason.
Looks like he's going to be rather prominent. This is him killing Otto at Honeyholt for no reason.
Whoa!
I love speculating on trailers. It's so much fun.
Whoa! It is fun. Because like Ormond is leading an army in the Reach for the entire story, I think.
Yeah.
He gets killed by Roddy the Ruin or someone.
Ormond, by the way, is Otto's nephew, right?
Well, yeah,
cousin.
and he's now the Lord of Old Town
because Hobart is dead.
But what even is this building? Like, what building is he in? Because he's out in the field in the Reach for, like, the entirety of the book, as far as I can tell.
Maybe this is our introduction to him in our old town or whatever.
I think at the end of season 2, we saw his army on the march.
True.
So
right, because we saw Tessarion.
Yeah. So he's marched out of Old Town with Darren and Tessarion.
That's a shame. We're not going to see Old Town in this show.
Yeah. It does seem like Ormond is prominent, so he needs to have enough time to
Darren
do
and
stuff.
Ormond need like a cool introduction together.
Yeah, I think that like defeating Beesbury's and freeing Otto,
Yeah, that makes sense.
is probably it. But like, what is Ormond so upset about that he's screaming about?
Oh, because
at
Otto's
this
dead
point?
when they get there.
Yeah, he's holding a sword.
Oh, because he's killing Otto for no reason, like I said.
He's at a fireplace. Is it? Oh, there's a blur. Look, Gladys, there's a blur.
Yeah, it's a sword.
You see that one?
Yeah.
Right, that's a sword. So what's he chopping?
Otto's head, I'm telling you.
I think he's having a tantrum.
Yeah, because Otto's dead.
That is such a scream. Oh my god, the pipes on this guy. I really liked...
What the fuck is happening with Otto?
Yeah, I mean, see, Otto in the books is at King's Landing when Daemon and Rhaenyra take King's Landing and they kill Otto.
They kill him, just bing, bang, boom, done.
And I think maybe the showrunners are thinking, let's do something more with Otto because
obviously Rhys Ifans is the best part of the show.
Yeah, he's for sure one of the best performances in the show. And I like the idea that we talked about that maybe Otto will sacrifice himself to kill Ulf, because there's a sequence where, was it Hobart Hightower in the books drinks poisoned wine to convince Ulf to drink poisoned wine to kill Ulf because Ulf is a giant problem with a big scaly lizard. I love that idea, but that is wild speculation. I guess, yeah, maybe that's...
I don't think it's that wild. I think it makes sense. But what is Ormond screaming about here?
We
Maybe
need
he's fighting someone. Maybe he's just like defeating someone to free Otto. Maybe that's what this is. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, maybe he's just killed a Beesbury. He's just slain Alan Beesbury.
Feel my sting. Oh, Aemond with the eye. Ooh, you love to see it.
I think this is Harrenhal. You can see the weirwood.
I believe that is Aemond telling Simon. Or maybe one of his gormless sons.
Well, yeah, I think you're right, Simon, because in the book, Aemond challenges Simon to a trial by combat,
which is farcical because Simon is an old man.
Yeah, so yeah, I think you're right. This is Aemond telling Simon to draw his sword, which yeah, again raises the question of like how quickly will Aemond deal with the Strongs, and then what does Aemond do for the rest of the season?
Yeah, outside bet, it could they could be translating that moment onto like. Who's another person Aemond could cruelly challenge to a trial by combat? Oscar Tully.
Yeah, that'd be fucked up. Yeah, it's puzzling fucking stuff. Like trying to figure out how we can have scenes with characters.
Yeah.
I guess that like Daemon could be on the ground more because like Daemon, I think, only fights at Stonehenge from here and then is not in any more battles.
Yeah, he hangs out at Maidenpool and then he goes and dies at the God's Eye.
Yeah, but I guess they might choose to have Daemon more involved on the ground with Oscar and the Rivermen, maybe against Jason and the Westermen or against Kristen and the Crownlanders. Like
that seems sensible.
They can move those pieces around in a bunch of different ways and play those characters off against each other a bunch of different ways, I suppose. There's a shot here where I think it's furniture with like the Greens.
Yes, that is the Greens banner. You can tell because there's only 2 legs.
Oh my god.
That's actually true. Like that's how I can tell. Also, it looks green.
Wait, are you saying that every yellow greens dragon has 2 legs and every black's red almost? Fuck, that's such a fuck up.
Yes.
That's such an obvious fuck up.
Yes.
I didn't realize that.
Yes.
That's outrageous. Because they should notice that.
Well, I'm sure that they decided to do it.
Anyway, so they're burning the green stuff because I guess Rhaenyra has taken King's Landing, and so she's
grumpy about it,
remodeling the furniture and replacing all their IKEA furniture.
There should be some like Faith of the Seven iconography in this shot.
Yeah, I agree.
Burning with the green furniture. Hopefully they work that in.
Yeah, Rhaenyra triumphantly taking the throne. Let's see how that turns out for her.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Daemon is looking perturbed. The editing makes it look like Daemon is present when Vhagar is burning Harrenhal, and I don't think that Daemon is present.
No, the entire plan is for him to be gone and in King's Landing while this is happening.
Yeah, so I think this is deliberately misleading editing. But I mean, there's certainly some fire that Damon is perturbed by.
Yeah, where is Damon in this shot? Because like they are playing fucky wucky with the editing. Like I'm sure Damon isn't there while Vhagar is burning Harrenhal. Is he at Harrenhal in this shot though? Or is this King's Landing?
This does look like he is picking up his sword in
Landing.
reaction. This is King's Landing.
Well, the next shot is.
Based on the quality of the tambark. How
Yeah,
the
of
fuck do you
course.
know?
No, it's just more GeoGuessr Rainbolt stuff.
I like this bit because Kristen is hitting this guy with the handle of his Morningstar. He's grabbing the ball part of the Morningstar and smacking him with the handle.
That's
and then
sick.
in the other trailer from 2 months ago, we see Kristen is using the chain of the Morningstar to strangle the guy. This is the same shot
sick.
from the trailer 2 months ago. He's killing the same guy. He's got the chain of the Morningstar around the guy's neck and he's yanking it.
Damn.
Isn't that crazy and
That's
fucked
awesome.
up? And you can only see it by combining the two trailers. Rhaenyra is banging.
Yeah, what's that all about? That's a
against the door.
Dragonstone.
Yeah, because of
The Valyrian runes.
Maybe Rhaenyra is upset that Jace is dead. Maybe that's.
Oh, yeah, look,
going
yeah,
on.
you would be.
Aegon is looking up. He's looking surprised.
Oh, what a great shot. I love Tom Glencarney so much.
It's interesting that they're putting prosthetics on his face, and I hope that doesn't make it harder for him to act. My prediction, Aegon is looking back, surprised, seeing Sunfire. He's like, oh
Yeah,
my god,
yeah,
my
that makes
dragon
sense.
is actually alive and is coming to me. Because, like, they sort of make it seem like Sunfire is dead. I don't think Sunfire is dead.
No, of course not.
Sunfire has to eat Rhaenyra.
Sunfire's gonna eat Rhaenyra. Yum, 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 yum.
This is Corlys going... I mean, all the dragons are on his side at the gullet. So what's he looking up at? He looks worried about the...
Well, maybe, no, he's watching a dragon go down.
seeing Jace get
Yeah,
killed.
he's watching Vermax die.
Yeah, I think you're dead right. Triarchy people. Sheriko's pirates.
Yeah,
are in the
or maybe
background
he's
there.
watching like a boarding party arrive on his ship.
Maybe he saw an unusual species of seagull.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's the black-banded albatross.
Very fascinated to know what Alicent is shocked by here. Because
This
she's
is her parka, isn't it?
Yeah, she's in her parka. She's in her warm weather gear. Which, like, why the fuck is she in
Where
this conspicuously warm clothing?
Where is she in this shot?
It
What
could
is
be
this?
outside King's Landing, but, like, it could be anywhere. And what is she so comically shocked by?
I was joking earlier, but does Alicent bump into Aegon? Like, does she find Aegon?
That would be the stupidest shit. It would be too silly if it's a coincidence.
No, I'm not meaning as a coincidence, but like, does someone know where Laris went?
I mean, Laris might tell someone. Because that's the thing, like, Laris doesn't actually love Aegon.
What?
Laris...
No!
like, Laris is playing the long game.
No!
It would be cool to have a confrontation between Laris and Alicent. Because Laris has messed with Alicent so bad.
Yeah.
I guess it could still be a surprise that, oh, they're at Dragonstone specifically. Like, that could still be a surprise. But, like, it's odd to me that they're showing the travelogue, the awkward walking travelogue, and it's got to be for a reason. And I guess, like, maybe they just want to show...
Well, we're definitely going to explore Aegon and Laris' relationship because
Yeah.
there are 8 fucking episodes this season, and by the end of them, I'm pretty sure the only thing that will have happened for Aegon plot-wise is Sunfire is still alive.
Yeah.
And we're on Dragonstone now.
And I think we're seeing it now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that does raise the question of, like, yeah, what the fuck else does Aegon and Laris do this season?
They're not going to be in half the episodes, for sure.
Yeah, it might be shit all. Which is a shame because,
They're
like...
the best actors on the show. Like, they're so fucking good.
I mean, we say that about all of them, but,
Yes,
like...
but it's true.
Tom Glencarney absolutely is one of
And
the
Matthew
best.
Needham. Like, they're such a great combo. I really like this juxtaposition of Daemon saying this is the moment you become queen when Rhaenyra is, like, clearly dying inside because Jace is dead.
Yeah, it's great because it shows that being queen is bullshit.
Although that moment there of this is the moment you become queen, like, clearly that was supposed to be the season 2 finale.
Yeah.
But it's exactly the same as the season 1 finale. Your son dies, this is the moment you become queen.
Yeah, which is why it's going to feel so empty when it happens for the third time in the third
Season
season.
3, episode 1.
They can't keep getting away with this.
Those bastards.
That's the first time you've used that, isn't it? It's so good.
There's one other thing I want to point out, which is the classic, oh, hang on a minute. I thought that was Gerardus doing the famous Gerardus lean, but that's Bartimus Celtigar doing the Gerardus lean.
Bartimus Celtigar has picked up a few tricks.
Oh, he's learning. I guess an old crab can learn new
God
tricks.
damn it.
There's Gerardus.
Doing the lean much
that's
better
Gerardus
than
doing the
Bartimus.
lean. So here's the Black Council.
Oh, Mazzari's still... Okay, cool.
So
interesting.
So, I mean, this is season 3, episode 1, right?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, Jace is there.
Because
so yes.
because Rhaenyra is explaining to her team what just went on with Alicent.
That's fucking Laurent Marbrand, the one other Kingsguard.
Mm-hmm. Jace saying, don't trust Alicent, which is interesting because, like, how's that going to pay off?
Or is he saying you can't trust Mazzaria? No, it's probably Alicent.
Yeah, how are they going to pay this off? Are they going to pay this off with, no, Alicent was actually great because we got to take King's Landing, or... Alicent is in fact a betrayer because Aegon isn't here.
I should have listened to my son. If I had listened to my son, maybe he wouldn't be dead for whatever other fucking reason happens in this scene.
They could play it that way. Baylor looking spectacular on Moondancer.
Hell yeah.
Well, how'd you going to feel when her sister rides a sheep dragon into battle all of a sudden?
Out of nowhere, and it's bigger and more powerful than Moondancer.
Baylor's going to feel a bit replaced.
Yeah.
It's going to be a weird feeling for Baylor.
I think the other thing going on in this, like, Baylor's going to deal with a lot after this battle because Jace is dying and her sister now has a dragon.
Well, yeah, Jace is her fiance.
Yes.
Here's Aegon killing someone.
Some guy.
I assume they're fighting against men sent to hunt them down by Rhaenyra.
Yeah. Or maybe just some unwitting merchant has recognized them and has to die because of that.
Or Aemond.
Yeah.
Might send people after him. And we've discussed all
and then
of those
you have to
ones.
subscribe to HBO Max on YouTube.
No, you have to subscribe to Alt Shift X and Glidus.
Oh no, that's a Green's banner. Okay, I was...
You almost lost your mind over some legs.
They almost got me.
I think that we're looking at something potentially very complex and messy.
I think a lot of this is going to be terribly exciting. Fun spectacle, hopefully. Like, I see a way forward for pretty much every major character's arc. I see how they can pull it off.
Yeah, I think that they have an idea of where they're going, and I think that it should be achievable. I think that the structure and the pacing and the focus are all, like, very big challenges. Because, like, there's a lot of things happening that need to happen, but then you've always got that looming question. But what's it about?
Yeah.
Because the answer is, well, a lot. It's about power. It's about gender.
Motherhood.
It's about motherhood. It's about family. It's about legacy. Like, I think ultimately it's a tragedy.
House of the Dragon is a story about how systems of society draw otherwise pleasant relationships apart. How power divides.
I just hope they can handle the story and the characters.
All right, that's the first 2 done. This is our second stream, all about the third and final trailer. This is an intermission, I guess. Okay.
They've gone and dropped another trailer, and there's a few surprising, interesting things going on here. So just to jump into some random bullshit, that's the Mutin sigil.
So it is.
The Mutins were Mutin mention, in season 2, episode 6, because Rhaenyra sent the Mutins to Rook's Rest.
Oh my god.
And this was after
Rook's Rest.
The Battle of Rook's Rest. Is this Rook's Rest? Is Aegon going to find Sunfire?
Yeah. So this is Aegon about to... okay, here we go. This is Aegon about to be captured by the Mutins at Rhaenyra's request, which would end the war, obviously.
Yeah.
And then Sunfire saves him.
I like that.
This is how Aegon finds out. Like, Aegon is currently looking off to the side, and that's where Sunfire is. Aegon's just learning that Sunfire is still alive.
Well, because look at this shot. Look at this shot.
Yeah.
Look at Aegon looking up.
Yeah.
No, you've just cracked it. That is, I think you're exactly right.
It sounds like we're going to find out during season 3 that Aegon has Sunfire back.
I mean, the other question is, like, where has Sunfire been hiding? Like, maybe they know that Sunfire's there, and maybe, the Blacks have been trying to kill Sunfire in Aegon's absence. But when Aegon arrives, Sunfire shows new strength and shows that Sunfire can still fly, and scoops up him and Laris and flies to Dragonstone.
For me, Aegon being on Dragonstone has to be a twist reveal.
Yeah, well, that's how it's presented in the books. Is that no one knows where Aegon is, and then suddenly, surprisingly, he turns up at Dragonstone and eats Rhaenyra. And I think it would be most fun to replicate that in the show. But
Aegon's a main character. We have to follow him around.
yeah, Aegon's a main character. Tom Glencarny is one of the most fun, charismatic performers. So do they want Aegon to be MIA for episodes and episodes? I think it would be a cool thing to do. I think it's the right thing to do. Because, like, what are they going to do otherwise? They just show, like, Aegon and Larys hiding in some basement eating rats for several episodes.
For half a season.
Now that we've done the Aegon detail. So the trailer actually starts with a battle that I think is in the Riverlands. I'm guessing that this battle is like the battle for Stonehenge. During season 2, we had that whole thing where Daemon was trying to rally the Riverlords and the Brackens defied him, so he got Willem Blackwood to do war crimes against the Brackens to intimidate them into joining him.
As you do.
But then Alice gave him peyote, and he decided to execute Willem Blackwood, and then...
It gave him the clarity of mind to instead kill the lad.
And so I guess the point of this is that Daemon and the Tullys are stamping out resistance in the Riverlands, and soon they're going to have to fight against Jason Lannister's army that we saw last season. And you've also got Aemond coming on Vhagar to take Harrenhal. So the Riverlands are going to be a bloodbath.
As always.
Yeah, as always for like the rest of the show. It seems as though young Oscar Tully is sort of replacing the role of Benjicott Blackwood from the books.
Which makes some sense.
Yeah, I think that makes sense to me.
And like, obviously they're going to have to truncate a lot of characters in this show.
Yeah, because like, I mean, you know, what's the story purpose of this battle? Like, it could be a way to introduce Black Aly Blackwood.
Yeah.
Because she's that woman with the face paint over her eyes, and she's a great archer, and she's a tomboy, and she eventually marries Cregan Stark, and so she's a fun new character. So maybe this battle will be a way of introducing her. And you'll notice that, you know, there's all these arrows on the ground. Mm-hmm. So maybe those are Black Aly Blackwood's archers doing those arrows. So like maybe this is about introducing her. Yeah. And the thing that's fun about her is that she is the relative of Willem Blackwood, who
Daemon just
killed.
Yep.
And you know Willem committed all these war crimes in the name of House Blackwood for Daemon. And so like with Aly giving Daemon this side eye here. It might be that Aly hates Daemon. She has good reason to hate Daemon. So I wonder what the dynamic is going to be here. Maybe Aly stands up to Daemon. One of the most interesting and surprising shots in this trailer for me is a shot of Daemon and Caraxes with Sheepstealer in the background.
That is certainly Sheepstealer. Actually, if you look closely, you may notice that that's certainly not Sheepstealer. That's actually Silverwing. So that's Ulf and Silverwing. We're going to talk for a while under the incorrect assumption that that's Sheepstealer and therefore Rhaena is with Daemon and Caraxes here in the Riverlands. We're going to leave that in because I think we go somewhere quite interesting while talking about Rhaena again. But just know that is not Sheepstealer, that's Silverwing. You can tell from the pixels. So the things we're saying here might not be relevant for whatever shot this actually is, but they might still be relevant for other reasons. Okay.
This says to me that Daemon and Caraxes and Rhaena and Sheepstealer get together and do something together, which is similar to what happens in the books where Daemon and Caraxes and Sheepstealer and Nettles spend all this time together. It's maybe Rhaena and Sheepstealer won't like join Rhaenyra and serve Rhaenyra. Maybe she'll be hanging out with Daemon.
You had this theory that Rhaena and Sheepstealer would be the guest stars at the Gullet.
I did.
I still think that that's possible, but if the Gullet's in the first episode, then do we have time with Rhaena to like get her on Sheepstealer? Because there's that shot in the trailer of Rhaena like looking a bit terrified at Sheepstealer. So that has to be resolved before she can really do anything with the dragon.
Yeah.
So maybe she won't be at the Gullet. But I was thinking that maybe she shows up at the Gullet and then like has a confrontation with Rhaenyra and then fucks off with Daemon. I don't know.
Throughout the show, a big part of Rhaena's arc has been that she feels that Daemon doesn't love her because she doesn't have a dragon.
That's like the one thing we have about Rhaena, really.
There was that amazing shot of Daemon after Laena's death. Daemon just turns away from his daughters, Baelor and Rhaena, and doesn't comfort them. He seems to ignore them.
And we had that shot in episode 6 of season 1 where Rhaena was holding an egg up to the fire and being comforted by her mother. And like, it's okay. You don't have to ride a dragon to like be loved.
Yeah. So I think for all those reasons, it'll be interesting for Rhaena to like rock up to Daemon and say, "Hey, Dad, I've got a fucking dragon now. Are you going to take me seriously now? Like, am I worthy of your love now that I have a lizard? You doofus."
Daemon being Daemon is probably going to value Rhaena going out and claiming this wild dragon more than Baylor hatching Moondancer.
Yeah. Like, Daemon is going to think this is the coolest thing
Yes.
that his children have ever done. But I mean, part of what was going on in season 2 was that Daemon was seeing ghosts at Harrenhal, and the ghost of Laena said, "Have you been looking after our daughters?" It all flows very naturally from season 2, that Daemon's relationship with Rhaena is important and needs to be unpacked.
I am most interested, I suppose, in Baylor. Like, what are they going to do with Baylor once Jace dies with this new Rhaena Daemon setup?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think that's one of the things that they have to do in season 3, episode 1, is they need to remind us that Baylor and Jace are betrothed. They're set to marry each other.
They almost sort of like each other as well.
Yeah. Yeah, like they're actually like one of the few kind of good, healthy-ish couples potentially. And so that makes it sad when Jace dies. And I wonder if Baylor's going to be a bit pissed off and wild after Jace's death. But it does seem that they're putting Moondancer at the gullet. It's not the case in the books, but here's Baylor and Moondancer at the gullet.
So Baylor's going to watch Jace die.
So they're giving Baylor something to do. But yeah, what else does she do? Like, she sees Jace die, and at the very end,
She fights Aegon.
But what happens in between? Because she hasn't done much in this show, Baylor.
Is she going to be really pissed at Rhaenyra, or is she going to like galvanize her connection to Rhaenyra because they've lost Jace together?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, it is basically the choice Baylor has is between Rhaenyra and Daemon. So that's probably the connection they're going to tease out through this season if they do anything with Baylor, which hopefully they do. I like it when shows do things with their characters.
Well, yeah, I think that's a good way to think about it. Like, maybe this season is about, Rhaena chooses Daemon and Baylor chooses Rhaenyra.
Yes.
I think that might be what's going on here. Because Baylor, like Rhaena, also feels frustrated by Daemon being a shit dad.
And she could probably confide in Rhaenyra about Daemon being shitty.
Yeah, Baylor and Rhaenyra are the anti-Daemon.
Meanwhile, Rhaena is like, for the first time, being acknowledged by her father because she has a dragon now.
Yeah.
So, like, she's actually feeling a connection with him.
Yeah, no, I think that's fun and interesting.
I was going to ask what you think of this line.
Yeah, I see. I always look at the subtitles for the trailer.
Of course.
Because the subtitles reveal that it's the High Septon who says this line. These are turbulent times.
When do you think the High Septon might say that?
Yeah, well, it sounds like something that he's saying like privately as opposed to publicly.
When are we getting a scene with the High Septon? Is this an address to the public, or is it like in private to Rhaenyra or Alicent?
I get the sense that this is probably talking to either Alicent or Rhaenyra after Rhaenyra takes King's Landing. Because we see a Septon, who I think is credited as Septon Eustace.
God, that's confusing.
Well, yeah, because Eustace is one of like the historical sources for Fire and Blood. And so maybe this is Septon Eustace saying these are turbulent times? Although Eustace was not the High Septon.
Although maybe the show has made him High Septon. He is coronating the king.
Yeah,
crowning.
Doing
a coronation.
Well, the High Septon would be in Old Town, not King's Landing.
Oh, shit, true, because the Sept of Baelor doesn't exist yet. Is this the High Septon talking to Ormond Hightower? If we are holding that the High Septon should be in Old Town.
No, I think that's a brain blast, because one of the things that the trailers have revealed is that Ormond Hightower is a religious figure. I think that it is interesting that they're doing this religious angle. I think it's interesting and good because, the Hightowers live at Rome, where the Vatican is, and that religious connection is important to Alicent personally, and all of her issues around like sin and guilt and faith and the appearances of moral superiority. Like, all of that is interesting and important, and it looks like Ormond embodies some of that.
Season 2 was the story of Alicent becoming disillusioned with every single institution that defined her life.
Yeah.
So this religious angle, especially coming from her family, from Ormond, is going to be quite interesting.
Yeah, and I think that clashes with Rhaenyra's role as a like almost religious fanatic messiah figure. That's something that they leaned into in season 2, episode 7. And Emma Darcy recently in the press has talked about, Rhaenyra's role as a sort of a holy fanatic. So I think that it's not only like a political conflict and a personal conflict, it's also a religious conflict.
Like, it's all about teasing out these religious ideas.
Yeah.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah. No, I think it's super fun. Like the intersection of religion and magic and politics and internal
ego, self,
conflict and identity, and all of that is there, and all of that is really fun to unpack. So I'm glad they're doing that. We haven't seen my favorites, Alinda Massey and Diana and
where's Sylvie?
Where's Sylvie when you need her?
Are they hiding them in the trailer so like the audience doesn't get a feel for how big they're going to be? Or are they actually just scrapping all of it?
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, I would say there's like 50-50 odds of either Alinda, Diana, and Sylvie become like key characters in like the rise of Game and Pale Hair and the Space Communist Revolution, or they just aren't in season 3 at all. I would give like even odds that like they might just not be in the show, because like they did play a role in season 2 where they spread rumors against the Greens, and they helped get the dragon seeds to Dragonstone, and they helped with the food boats arriving, and like Sylvie, Diana, and Alinda, they were important in season 2.
Yeah.
And I hope that continues because they represent the common people.
And Diana, obviously, like, I just want to see more of that character because she had such an important role in one of the best scenes in season 1.
Yeah, she shouldn't just disappear.
Oh, absolutely. I think the entire point of her character is that the people who were affected by these otherwise charismatic large men of history ought not be forgotten. That's one of the key themes of Fire and Blood, is to remember those which history forgets.
So I wonder if Hugh and Kat just sort of like drift apart, like their relationship just can't hold together after the death of their daughter. Like, I think that would make some sense.
Well, he fucked off to Dragonstone and she's still starving in King's Landing, so...
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, it should be a simple thing for Hugh to just like swoop down and grab Kat and fly her off to safety.
Yeah.
Does he not do that?
Yeah, well,
Why would he not do that?
We see her walking through King's Landing, presumably while Rhaenyra is taking the city.
Well, I mean, this is presumably her seeing
Vermithor, right?
Yeah, Hugh on Vermithor. So it's like, why would Hugh not scoop her up and help her out? Very curious what's going on there. I don't think Kat's gonna have a good season this season.
No. But I think she has to make it to Tumbleton.
Yeah, because they did have that line where they mentioned that Kat has a sister or someone in Tumbleton. So yeah, that's where it's all going to go down. Maybe Hugh takes Kat to Tumbleton, saying, you'll be safe here, not realizing that it's
Tumbleton is the
the
single most destructive place in the country.
Yeah, it is the worst place to be. So we get a lot of glimpses of the Gullet, and this is where Jace will die.
So is the Gullet going to be a 30-minute sequence that takes up the entire back half of episode 1?
Yeah, I mean, probably.
I think that's how it's going to be.
Yeah, the way that Ryan is talking about it in the press, it sounds like he's saying that this is maybe the biggest, most complex action sequence ever filmed for television, is what Ryan Condal
That wouldn't
says.
shock me, but I really do begrudge that he compared it to Helm's Deep.
Yeah,
like,
why?
that's just setting yourself up for failure.
So the Valerians are going to have a bad day because in the books, the Triarchy sack Driftmark. They like destroy Spicetown and sack High Tide, and so a lot of Corlys's precious legacy and castles and towns are lain waste too. So it's a bad day for the Valerians.
I like how it was emphasized earlier in the show that Corlys built High Tide with the strength of his own back.
Yeah.
Because like he values that as his legacy, as the result of his voyages, of his strength, of his genius ship captaining and exploitation of other parts of the world, only for then his hubris to lead to its complete destruction.
Yeah, I think that like that arc for Corlys makes sense. He's the man who has everything. He's rich and powerful, and one by one, he just loses everything he has. He loses his family. Like, I think that's an interesting thing to do with a character.
And then what he's left with is control of a future that he won't be there to benefit from.
Yeah, and he ultimately must place faith in his bastard son, who he doesn't really know that well because of his own poor decisions. Like, I think that's a good arc.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the cage?
Yeah, what's going on? What's that about?
What's that about? What's that cage?
Oh, is that where they're keeping Tyraxes?
Yeah. How big is Tyraxes now? We've never seen Tyraxes.
Oh, is it Stormcloud that I'm thinking of?
Well, we have seen Stormcloud, and Stormcloud is very little.
Yeah, no, that's a chew toy of a dragon right there. You don't need a cage for that thing.
you don't need this giant cage for that tiny little Stormcloud. Is this a black ship or is this a Triarchy ship? Like, there's a lot of red there.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any seahorses on it.
Is this a Lannister ship? It's got red sails. I guess it's a Lannister ship. So, like, yeah, is that like a dragon storage cage or is that like a dragon trapping cage?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, it's too small for Vermax.
Yeah. It's got to be for Tyraxes. Although, why would the Lannisters have a Tyraxes cage?
Maybe it's the Triarchy.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the Triarchy sail with that device, I think. And that's the one that Vermax is burning. So yeah, I think that ship's allied to the Blacks and they have a dragon cage.
No, I'm still not so sure. Oh, that's such a cool fucking shot.
Yeah, that is an awesome shot. I wish that text wasn't there.
Man, who do we have here?
I think that's Tyraxes with the, like, spiky tail.
That's Moondancer.
Oh,
isn't it? So this is the gullet, yeah?
Yeah, no, this is the gullet.
No, this isn't the gullet. This is like Rhaenyra and her dragons going to King's Landing in the aftermath of the gullet.
No, you're dead right.
That's Cyrax, not Moondancer. Cyrax has a club tail.
Oh, you're dead right. So Alicent is like, hey, just so you know, I talked to our enemy Rhaenyra and I agreed for your brother Aegon to die and I'm going to let her take over your throne. Do you mind if I pop out and abandon you?
Well, maybe this is Alicent justifying her actions because we saw Aemond confronting her about, like, where have you been in one of the other trailers.
Yeah.
So Alicent saying, like, this was going to happen one way or the other. Rhaenyra is coming. This is me trying to make it as not shit as it possibly could be. I see that that's an avenue this conversation could go.
I don't think Aemond is going to be sympathetic to that
God, no.
line of argument. I think Aemond thinks that he's got Vhagar, he's the strongest, and he can win. I mean, we saw at the end of episode 7, season 2.
Aemond saw Vermithor and Silverwing and Seasmoke and Cyrax, and he was like, well, fuck, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
And then he goes and burns Sharp Point.
Yeah. So it is true that Aemond knows that he can't beat 5 big dragons at once. And so I guess this is part of Aemond's reasoning to go to Harrenhal instead of fighting Rhaenyra's like 5 dragons.
Yeah, if I can't have King's Landing, I'll take the other one.
Which is quite different to where Aemond is at in the books. Because in the books, Aemond does not know that Rhaenyra and the dragons are coming.
He's basically lured out to Harrenhal, and Rhaenyra takes advantage of that to take King's Landing, so they don't have to deal with Vhagar. It looks like it's the other way around now.
Yeah, Aemond thinks that he's operating from a position of strength in this point in the books. Whereas, in the show, I guess he's maybe being a bit more smart or a bit more cowardly. Yeah, he's fleeing. So that's interesting. I mean, maybe Aemon's reasoning in the show is that if he can defeat Daemon, Rhaenyra's husband, then he'll be able to mess with Rhaenyra better. Maybe he's even like, oh, I'll make Daemon hostage or captive.
Or maybe just I'll make them pay.
Yeah, maybe Aemond is like, okay, I can't win, so I'll just be a giant pain in the ass. And so, maybe Aemond is trying to rub some brain cells together.
It's been done.
Yeah. In the shot with, like, Helena and Alicent from this trailer, I'm like, guys, like, you've got too much drip for, like, a secret... if you're trying to be incognito,
these are the poorest clothes they own.
Don't wear your like nicest like
the filigree embroidered.
Look at those buttons on your secret sneaking outfit. Even this like "Don't look at my daughter" is like looks fancier than like any garment in my home. It's incredible. I mean, I'm so fascinated by this shot.
Yeah, because in the book, Jaehaera never leaves King's Landing,
and neither does Helena.
Yeah,
there are shots indicating that Alicent escapes King's Landing alone.
But
and
then
that Helena and Jaehaera apparently don't manage to escape with her. So it's like, I mean, Alicent's intention that she said last season was she wants to escape with Helena and Jaehaera, but it looks as though only Alicent makes it out. So it's like, does Helena and Jaehaera, like, do they choose to stay in King's Landing? Or
Does
do
Helena,
they,
like,
fail to escape?
Does Helena have a revelation that she has to stay for some reason?
Some prophecy nonsense? Is Helena's dragon Dreamfire part of this somehow?
Maybe that's how they plan on escaping.
Yeah. Maybe they plan to escape on Dreamfire, but Helena finds herself unable to ride Dreamfire, or Dreamfire rejects her, or Dreamfire refuses to fly, or some shit.
I just want to see Dreamfire.
We just want to see Dreamfire, man. Because Dreamfire is going to die in the storming of the Dragon Pit, and like that'll mean more. Like I think that needs to be a powerful moment, is like Helena magically witnessing the death of Dreamfire and just losing her fucking mind. I mean, there is this other shot in the trailer of Helena weeping, and like I guess this is in like the Red Keep Godswood.
That's what it looks like to me.
But it's a mystery. What is her arc? What is her story? Like, is she gonna continue being an inscrutable prophet, oracle person who no one listens to? I guess. Will that be interesting? I don't know. Do I want to find out? Yes. Hello.
Oh, g'day. How you going? You miss me?
There you go. There's this shot.
Yeah, that's different.
And there's more green. And this, I'm assuming, is like the town of Tumbleton, which is where some really important battles happen. But I'm confused because, like, why are we seeing the Winter Wolves approaching Tumbleton in battle when in the books the Winter Wolves are defending Tumbleton from Hightower attackers?
Or maybe this is just them arriving, but then why does it look like this?
Yeah, who's shooting arrows at them? Who's shooting arrows at the Winter Wolves? Like, do the Hightowers already have Tumbleton and
Maybe.
the Winter Wolves take it? Because that's not what happens in the books. That's all a bit puzzling to me. Because, yeah, so we've got, like,
maybe
this
this
battle.
is not Tumbleton,
Yeah, maybe it's not Tumbleton.
but maybe it is.
But where the hell is it? Because the Winter Wolves do a bunch of stuff in the books.
Yeah.
They do the Butcher's Bowl, and they do the Fish Feed, and they do Tumbleton, but at no point do they attack a town. So I don't know what this is. So this is the fall of King's Landing. Rhaenyra and Daemon are taking the Red Keep. I think it's fun how Daemon is sort of nonchalantly killing people while Rhaenyra just stands there and watches.
Yeah, I do like how it seems how unimpressive this sequence will be.
Yeah, well, remember when Daemon took Harrenhal last season?
Yeah.
And he wanted a big epic fight, and he just got Simon Strong talking about Goose.
Yeah, this is just Daemon being blue balls again.
Yeah, he can't get no satisfaction, and all he gets is these random red shirts dying like chumps. I love this shot.
Yeah, beautiful.
I love this shot, because every character is doing something that's in character. See, this is insane. There's another conversation between Rhaenyra and Alicent, which means that Rhaenyra lets Alicent go again. That's crazy.
Does it?
Well, yeah, because we see Alicent outside King's Landing
What
in
if
the
this
trailers.
is after that?
All right, well, where is this? Is this King's Landing?
This looks like King's Landing.
I think it's King's Landing. I'm not 100% sure. I don't recognize that set.
It looks like King's Landing. Like, just with the room dividers, the columns, the tiles, it looks like King's Landing.
Well, it doesn't look like Dragonstone, I suppose. Yeah. I mean, you're right. It could be anything, but it looks to me like it's Rhaenyra and Alicent at King's Landing before Alicent leaves. But it would be very bonkers if Rhaenyra is just like, okay, off you trot.
Yeah,
just
because
go walk out the front gate.
From Rhaenyra's point of view, Alicent lied and has
Yes.
betrayed her because Aemon's not here.
It would be very weird if Rhaenyra just lets Alicent go after that apparent betrayal. And it's like, if Rhaenyra, like, is okay with letting Alicent go, like, why not just fly her to Pentos on a dragon? Like, for real.
Yeah,
like,
just be done with it.
If Rhaenyra cares about Alicent and wants the war to be over and wants to spare Alicent, get her on Cyrax with Helena and Jaehaera, fly her to fucking Norvos, and then never see her again. Like, that would be the solution if you want to spare them and end the war.
Yeah, especially while Vhagar is in the Riverlands. Like, it is now currently safe to do anything.
I feel a little bit gaslit that Rhaenyra is still saying, let's do this without further bloodshed. Because, like, in the books, it makes it really clear that, like, the deaths of Luke and Jace make Rhaenyra...
This is before the death of Jace, saying it now. This is, like, her last conversation with Jace.
Yeah, I think you did right. I think that
Because
makes
for
the
her
most
to say
sense.
this after Jace has died would be insane.
Yeah.
Would be, like, irretrievably destructive to the show.
So like, yeah, surely Rhaenyra stops talking about peace and mercy after the death of Jace. Surely.
I think what this character needs is one last "what would you have me do" that is then countered by "you sound like your father, quit it, do something. You have to do something."
Yeah. I mean, we kind of see Daemon telling Rhaenyra that in these trailers. Like, he tells her, oh, you still don't know who you are.
I would love if this scene involved him saying, "You're being like Viserys, and look where Viserys got us. You need to be like me."
Yeah. No, I like that because, like, one of the other things we see is the model city.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this is absolutely when you invoke Viserys' impact on Rhaenyra, right?
And we also see the skull. So I think that Rhaenyra, you know, seeing Viserys' legacy of chaos and ruination is an opportunity for Daemon to say, hey, this is why we need to be assertive and make decisive, violent choices, or else everything will continue to fall apart. So the peasants are not keen on the nuclear lizards.
What? But they love dragons. Who doesn't love dragons?
All their insurance premiums are going up because of these lizards.
I don't think these peasants have insurance.
They don't? Is this Daemon here? I think this is Daemon.
No, it looks like Daemon.
Look at that armor. Look at that hair.
Don't know who else it would be.
Look at that wig. Look at that chin. So yeah, Corlys is telling Daemon about the issues with the commoners. Aemond laying waste.
That is such a cool shot.
Yeah, no, it's an outrageously cool shot because the only person in the world who could look so relaxed while the biggest organism on this continent is laying waste with dragon fire
To the biggest castle on this continent.
it's Aemond. He's the only dude who would be cool enough to walk away from this explosion, and he knows it.
Look at the swagger.
Gosh golly, does he know it? His only regret is that no one is here to see how cool he looks right now because he burned everyone already. And of course, it doesn't really serve any purpose for him to burn Harrenhal.
No, this does nothing. Except, like, just fuck Daemon and everything he's done here.
Yeah, and I guess he's trying to lure Daemon and enemy dragons to come kill them. Aemond continues to look outrageously cool and scary.
So is this him threatening Sir Simon Strong or Alice or Simon's gormless family?
That looks like someone's being stabbed.
It looks like he's killing someone, yeah.
But
and this is the whole of Harrenhal where we had all those Daemon scenes where he met Simon.
So Alicent says to Rhaenyra, I see you have been merciful. Who has Rhaenyra been merciful to?
Everyone. Over the course of the war, she could have been a lot less merciful.
Maybe Alicent will stay in King's Landing for most of this season. Because, like, we do see her going somewhere in the dark at some point. But maybe that's at Rhaenyra's bidding later on. Maybe it's not so much Alicent escaping King's Landing.
As is like another Linda Massey sort of fetch quest.
Like maybe she sends Alicent to treat with Aemond. Because, like, there is a shot...
Oh, yeah.
There is a shot of what looks like Alicent at Harrenhal. Because those are the roots on the wall.
Yes.
Which is a Harrenhal thing.
And, like, of the 3 locations in this show, it's not King's Landing or Dragonstone, so it has to be Harrenhal.
Yeah, the lighting
Unless
and the
Tumblestone
roots.
happens to look like this as well. So that's Harrenhal.
So maybe that's where Alicent is going here.
That makes sense.
Maybe Rhaenyra sends Alicent to Harrenhal to treat with Aemond. I mean, that does make... that is a logical thing to do.
Like, who else does she have to do that? I mean, it's insane in a Rhaenyra-appropriate manner, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, look, Mysaria looking untrustworthy. That's all this lady does.
Oh, she's looked horny before.
There's a shot later on where Daemon is saying, in war all suffer. And I think Daemon is saying that to Mysaria. And so my prediction is that Mysaria is saying to the Black Council, oh
Right.
no, we've got to protect the common people. And Daemon says, no, I don't care about the common people. In war all suffer. No. And I think for that reason, because Daemon and Rhaenyra are not protecting the commons, that's why Mysaria will betray Rhaenyra.
Yeah.
And also, let's not forget that Mysaria and Daemon were lovers.
Yes.
And that ended badly, and Daemon imprisoned Mysaria, and so that's a whole other thing.
Mysaria is on Rhaenyra's side, ostensibly because Mysaria believes Rhaenyra is the one person who will defend the common folk.
Yeah. So Rhaenyra will not uphold that promise, and that's why Mysaria will betray her. And, like, maybe Mysaria will feed Rhaenyra's paranoia and, like, turn her against Adam and such, which is what happens in the books, it seems. So yeah, it looks like Alicent tells Rhaenyra, "You're gonna fuck everything up, mate. You can have the throne, but you're gonna fuck everything up."
That is said over this shot of Rhaenyra looking decidedly alone.
Yeah. Well, Daemon. Yeah, I mean, Daemon has left her bed because he's off burning people in the Riverlands, I suppose. And I think something they're emphasizing is Viserys told her that she must take the throne to save Westeros from the White Walkers, and that is very much on Rhaenyra's mind. But she also feels responsible for all these deaths in war. So here's the armies of the Riverlands marching for Daemon and Rhaenyra and the Blacks.
Every criticism we've levied at this show, by the way, it all melts away when I see the banners, because Game of Thrones didn't have the fucking banners.
Yeah. Yeah, it is nice to see a Game of Thrones show that cares about heraldry for once, even if they get the number of dragon legs wrong.
Look, it was a commitment to a mistake from Game of Thrones.
So Brackens, Blackwoods, Tullys, and I think that's a Piper.
My God.
Piper sigil.
They've got the House Piper sigil in House of the Dragon.
Rare House Piper representation.
Yeah. I mean, we saw the Vances earlier. Like, isn't that great?
So the Rivermen are gonna battle Jason Lannister on the lakeside, the fish feed. This is an interesting shot. Rhaenyra seems to have invited a bunch of well-to-do Kingslanders to have a little supper in the Red Keep.
Surely we're going to meet the Rosbys and the Stokeworths that are going to betray her later, right?
Yeah, probably. And so, like, I guess this is a little diplomatic mission trying to say, well, I'm the new queen and I'm going to be good for you and everything's peaceful and everything's good. But maybe she mentions, but also there's going to be some taxes and we're going to have to conscript some of your children because the Greens are still out there.
Please pay us or we'll burn your castles down without dragons.
And she appears to be drinking water. We normally see people drinking a lot of wine at these kinds of meetings, but the water, I think, shows caution and sobriety, and Rhaenyra is trying to keep her wits about her.
Well, that's not very like Cersei.
So we've seen Ormond swinging a sword as well in the trailers in this room.
Yes.
So is he killing the High Septon with a sword? That
oh my God,
fun.
that'd be insane given anything else we know about him.
So Rhaenyra is yelling at Baelor, which is like, Baelor's not who you should be yelling at.
What did Baelor do?
Like, of all the people, Baelor has been one of the more level-headed and loyal and responsible people.
To me, this feels like Rhaenyra is yelling at whoever's nearby.
Yeah. So, like, what's she reacting?
Or maybe Baelor just, like, said something about their situation, and Rhaenyra's like, no, that's not what our situation is, you dumb fuck.
Yeah. Well, like, I mean, what is Rhaenyra... Like, Rhaenyra, after 10 King's Landing, like, she's just trying to, like, rule and consolidate power, and she's hoping for Daemon to deal with Aemond. And she's let Alicent go, I suppose, and she, you know, the Hightower army is coming.
Perhaps this is after the Hightowers have taken Tumbleton.
Yeah. And perhaps this is after Ulf and Hugh's betrayal. Like, that's kind of the big problem for Rhaenyra this season, I think.
Surely this is the Vale and that's Sheepstealer. Oh no, that's Caraxes, isn't it?
Caraxes in the Vale.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Very cool, because we have seen this shot of Sheepstealer flying over this same location. And so I think this is where Daemon meets up with Rhaena and finds, oh, my daughter's got a dragon.
Yeah, what if this is like Rhaenyra's heard reports about some dragon in the Vale and sends Daemon to go deal with it?
Yeah.
Could also be that, you know, the party that Rhaena departed with noticed that Rhaena wasn't with them and, like, word of that got to Rhaenyra or Daemon.
So the Winter Wolves are a bunch of Northmen led by Roderick Dustin, Roddy the Ruin. Last season, Jace met Lord Cregan Stark, and Cregan agreed to send a couple of thousand old men to go fight and die for Rhaenyra.
And then Jace made a deal with the Freys to give them Harrenhal so they can use their bridge in their army.
Yeah, there's no way that'll backfire
or
go badly for anyone.
Yeah, but, you know, keep that thread in mind. The Freys won Harrenhal. Oh, yeah. Also, what's Aemond saying here, Mr. Swift?
Aemond says, Rhaenyra will certainly fail, and we will raise our own throne.
That's interesting to me, because I thought the idea was we're fighting over the one throne.
Yeah, well, he also says something in the other trailer about we'll start a new line of unsullied kings. He says some sort of odd, vague things about some kind of new dynasty. I wonder if he has some kooky plans. Maybe he's like, I mean, if we want to get really kooky, like Alice Rivers in the books has Aemon's child, or claims to be pregnant with Aemon's child, and also maybe has a dragon and claims to be like the witch queen of Harrenhal. So like maybe Aemond and Alice get some harebrained scheme to like found their own new dynasty at Harrenhal.
Yeah, like in the ruins of the old gods and the Ironborn castle, and like facing the Isle of Faces. Like there's a lot going on there.
Yeah, I think that could be cool and fun. And I think that Aemond might be vulnerable to getting like infected by the ghost of Harrenhal and getting infected by the green sight visions and Alice. And like I think Aemond is very easy to influence for a person like Alice and her magical wiles. So maybe, he gets his brain fuggled by a green man and he just decides to become the Dragon King of Harrenhal. Like, why not?
Hell yeah.
This looks like Vermithor.
Yeah.
Flying over King's Landing, freaking out. Or Tumbleton? It's probably Tumbleton, because it looks like the same color of rocks, the same architecture.
Yeah, actually, it doesn't look like King's Landing.
Yeah, I think this is
the start of the Tumbleton saga.
Yeah. So this looks like the same location where we see the Winter Wolves attacking Tumbleton. Are we seeing the River Lord army and Daemon and Caraxes and the Winter Wolves all attacking the High Towers at Tumbleton together? Is Daemon at Tumbleton? Daemon shouldn't be at Tumbleton. I think this is Corlys on Driftmark going, oh shit, the horny pirate burned my new house.
So is this like he's rushed to Driftmark from the gullet? Because he's at the gullet. Like he's in the battle, yeah?
Yeah, I think this is after the gullet and he's come back home and he's like, fuck. They did set this up well in season 1 by showing us High Tide and showing us all of Corlys's like great decor and his treasures and his trophies, and all of that is dust now. And I think that's cool.
Do you think we're going to see the Hall of Nine in ruin?
That'd be so cool.
Do you think we're going to see the crab feeder mask, the only thing that survives?
Oh my god. Yeah, I would love that. I would love that. Rhaenyra looking at fire
she's
in
at
the Sept, I suppose.
She's at the Sept. What's Rhaenyra doing at the Sept, other than remembering Alicent?
Oh god.
Because like that's the only thing she's ever done at the Sept is hang out with Alicent.
Because that's one of the, heartbreaking things that they keep touching base with is Rhaenyra and Alicent being at the Sept together. And this is where Rhaenyra lied to Alicent, and this is where they meet again in the Sept.
Where she lied to her.
Yeah, she lied about not having sex.
That was in the King's Landing Godswood.
Was it?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my bad. But then they met again in season 2, episode 3, the Sister Act.
Yep.
And now Rhaenyra is here alone, and Alicent is not here.
And like obviously, Daemon's line here is prompting us to think about who Rhaenyra is in the context of the Sept without Alicent. That first scene in season 1 with young Rhaenyra and Alicent in the Sept was about the loss of their mothers. It was about grief and the mother.
Yeah. Yeah, well, this could definitely have some reflection about Rhaenyra's mother, Emma.
And we also know that Alicent went to this Sept to light a candle for Lucerys Velaryon after he died. So
yeah,
I don't know. There's a lot of shared grief between Rhaenyra and Alicent at this location, including our shared grief over the scene between them in season 2, episode 3.
It's Shiraka Lohar.
It's Lohar time, and she Lohar'd all over the place.
I think like having like a charismatic monster like Sharako is the idea, and like
Aegon.
And the idea also,
Aemond. Like most characters on this show are charismatic monsters.
Like Sharako is fun,
a dragon other than a charismatic monster?
Yeah, true. And like, how are we going to feel after Sharako like burns down Corlys's house? You know, we know that Sharako desperately wants to kill Corlys. Like she mentioned that last season, and sort of alluded to them crossing swords in the past, in the Stepstones War and such.
So maybe what's going to happen with the Sharako after the Gullet? Like, does this character have anything to do with the show after that?
I think she'll probably die.
I think Corlys might kill Sharako Lohar.
Yeah, I think probably. Like
Corlys is going to show up to Driftmark, see High Tide burning, and then just like Corlys all over the place.
Here's Vermax, I think.
Oh, what a great shot. I'm very excited to see all this. And his little chicken legs.
The dragon toe enjoyers will be thrilled.
That's me, baby.
Now this is an intriguing shot.
Who have we here? So this is Alicent Aemond.
Oh, fascinating.
What are they doing? Did Aemond just bring a dragon? Did Vhagar just lay an egg in Harrenhal? Like, what are the mechanics here?
That's crazy. This is Aemond giving a dragon egg to Alice, and so this corresponds with Aemond and Alice being lovers, as in the books,
or it's Alice showing Aemond a dragon egg she already had.
Yeah, maybe. There's also this fascinating shot of like a dark cave with a figure walking calmly with fire emerging behind them. So like this could be Rhaena facing Sheepstealer
in his lair. This might be insane. It could be an entrance to the King's Landing Dragon Pit, because we know there's a back entrance.
Yeah.
And it could be Helena and Dreamfire.
Yeah, I like that.
It could be Rhaenyra and Syrax, though. I don't know.
This is a big bloody battle.
That is a gorgeous shot.
I think this is the Winter Wolves attacking Kristen's army.
Oh.
I think that's what this is. This could be the Bloody Butcher's Ball.
Yeah, it could be the Butcher's Ball.
This could be the death of Kristen. This could be after the death of Kristen.
Yeah, damn.
Because that's what happens. Like they face like Roddy the Ruin and the Riverlanders and the Northmen. They face Kristen, and Kristen's like, "I challenge you to a duel," and they're like, "Nah, fuck you," and they shoot him to death.
They make him a porcupine,
and then they wipe out his army. So yeah, this might be the Bloody Butcher's Ball.
They might change Kristen's death to be more involved with a character we actually know and care about. Like we theorized a long time ago that Gwaine is going to kill Kristen.
Rhaenyra looking very dark and scary.
Well, Alicent says, "Did I not warn you that you would come to this?"
Yeah. So this, I mean, they've ended, I think, several of the trailers with Rhaenyra, and I think, you know, it really emphasizes to me that Rhaenyra is the protagonist of this show, and the main central arc of this story is about Rhaenyra's downfall through paranoia and betrayal and grief and fear and rage and destiny, and Rhaenyra is the main character of the show, I feel.
No way.
And, you know, half in light, half in shadow. This is what it's all about. Yeah, I think one of the biggest strengths of this show is that season 1 was a great foundation.
Oh, it really was.
And there's a lot that's happening now that ties back beautifully to season 1.
Yeah, unfortunately, like season 2, the pace of it, the things that plagued its production meant that it could lean less on season 1. Like it should have just been faster paced unto itself, but now the chickens come home to roost, right?
Yeah. So I think that it's a good idea for them to call back to season 1 and to remind us of the strengths of season 1 and how all of those choices led to what's happening now. I think that's something that they should do.
Alrighty, woohoo, that's it. Thanks for watching. Again, full stuff is on Nebula. I mean, you just watched it. You probably don't want to watch the full version now. You should have done it at the start. That's what I'm telling you. But Dragon Time Season 3, full versions on Nebula. Of course, shorter versions here on YouTube. We're not leaving you behind. That's about it.